Next video. Which country has the worst manners? Etiquette expert answers questions. We've seen this guy before talk about etiquette. It's really fascinating. If you remember, he showed how you're supposed to properly eat peas, and he stabbed them with a fork, which I thought was interesting because I always thought you would eat in peas with a spoon.
If you saw the late Queen eat a burger, all of a sudden she is not the late Queen because the Queen does not eat burgers. I'm sure the Queen did eat a burger in private.
Why does the Queen not eat burgers? Is that like a rule? Because it's like commoner food.
What do you think the Queen's McDonald's order would have been?
Oh, she was...
The Queen of England probably would have gotten a fish fillet. Filet of fish, rather.
Anyone's for a fillet of fish. She was. She did. Hello, I'm William Hanson. I'm an etiquette coach, and today I'm answering questions from the Honesty Box.
It's not a pre-watch, bro. That's honestly, that's me stereotyping British people. Like, what? What would the late old Queen of England get at McDonald's? Probably a fish sandwich.
Should you tell someone if they have bad manners? This is the politeness paradox. It is technically bad manners to point out people's bad manners themselves. Makes my job one of the rudest jobs going. But
Dude, pointing out bad manners would be so lame. It depends how bad of manners somebody has. Like this, I'm pointing out. You know, imagine you're having a conversation with me at dinner. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know. I just kind of... Hold up. You just coughing into the air. Something like that. You know, that's disgusting. That's not even bad manners. That's just like you're spreading illnesses, you know. Cough into your elbow, your shoulder. It's only okay for kids. Bro, even a kid coughing, dude, just like straight, like one of those, like, cover your fucking mouth. Like that. I would say something about that. But if it's like, oh, they have their elbows on the table or they're fucking cutting a steak wrong, I'm not saying shit.
I think it's better to lead by example rather than to actually tell them off. And if you are going to sort of correct them, it should be done in a very gentle, compassionate way.
Perfect answer. When you're done, just chuck it on the ground.
Can I place them there?
How politely can you chuck it away?
How should you hold a knife and fork? Great question.
Yo, I used to hold my fucking knives and forks like a caveman. Where's like an object? I used to use a fork like you're supposed, like, okay, if I'm cutting a steak, you know, and then I think you're supposed to switch hands, right? Aren't you supposed to put it down and switch hands and then eat it? That's stupid as fuck. Cut it, eat. Cut it, eat. There's been times where I'm so lazy that I will cut it, stab it with the knife, eat it. But when I was a kid, I used to hold a spoon like this. Like if this was the spoon. Like I used to eat cereal, and I would just hold the spoon or a fork, and I would stab shit like this, like a caveman. You've told us that already? Oh yeah, sorry, I mentioned that 2 years ago, and you remember that. I can't repeat myself ever. The holidays are here. And the sports are kicking up, whether it be the NHL, the College Football Bowl, the NFL games, or anything of those sorts. Sports are bigger than ever. And what a better way to spice up the holiday games than with DraftKings Sportsbook. The sponsor of today's video. New DraftKings customers signing up with promo code JOEB can place a $5 bet and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I'm a big parlay guy. Love a 3-pick parlay. Talk about it on stream all the time. Doesn't mean you need to be. You know, the crown's yours. That's DraftKings slogan. You know, you can, bet on whatever sport you want to. In whichever way you want to. That's why the crown's yours. Anyways, and if DraftKings Sportsbook isn't yet available in your state, you could still take part in DraftKings Fantasy. So sign up for DraftKings today. Link in description. Download the app. Use promo code JOEB at sign up. Place a $5 bet, and if your bet hits, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring this video. And let's get back into it.
Well, look what's in the honesty box for me already. Some very expensive looking cutlery. So conventionally, the fork was held in the left hand and the knife was held in the right hand. But this goes back to a right hand bias when you were not allowed to use your left hand.
Oh my God, do left-handed people hold it the opposite way? Anybody that's left-handed in chat, do you hold the fork with your left hand or no?
To write or to carry your knife, and that's not necessarily just a table knife, that was your sword as well. So there was very much a bias on the right hand. Today, it is if you are left-handed, all God's creatures, it's absolutely fine, they're all amongst us. You can just switch the cutlery. You still hold it in exactly the same way, and that is with your index finger going down the shaft of the fork, stopping just before the bridge, and your finger going down the shaft of the knife, stopping where the blade...
Why does this shit matter? Who's fucking watching that? Like, I'm not going to a restaurant just fucking like, ooh, the index finger's a little too far up the neck of that fork there, buddy. That's not common etiquette.
And the handle meet. So whether you're eating in a left-handed way or in a more conventional right-handed way, this is how you hold a knife and fork. And we want the handles of the cutlery tucked into the palm of your hand. We don't want them sticking out like so. And ideally, try not to hold a knife like a pen because you won't have as much control of what you're cutting. And that's when you get petit pois flying off onto your neighbour's lap. And nobody wants that. How do you say scone? Scone. Do you want any more on that?
Why do people say it's scone and think scone is posher?
I think people say scone because they think it sounds posher, like bone or cone, but no, it's scone. Although there is an argument.
Oh my God, who cares? Who cares? What is a scone? I don't even know what a scone is. Is that like a pastry? Is that some shit that people eat for breakfast? What is a scone? Scone. A scone. It's a traditional British food. This is a scone. It looks weird. It looks like a fucking cookie, but like a biscuit cookie. Okay. It has like cream cheese or some shit on it. Ew. I mean, it didn't look bad. It didn't look good, but...
They do sort of have origins at the Palace of Scone in Scotland, so there is an argument that nobody is correct, and we should say scoons. But you sound like a loon if you say that. So, no, it's scone, because once it's scone, it's gone. Why are elbows on the table rude? So, yeah, I mean, if it's a dining table, it's actually very hard to eat with your...
Nope, I disagree. I will stand on the elbows on the table being perfectly normal and good. It's casual conversation. If I'm having a conversation, I'm probably crossing my arms and I'm putting both of my elbows on the table. At a restaurant, at a fancy restaurant, I'll sit like this. I don't give a fuck. Because this isn't the 16th century. I'm pretty sure historically the elbows on the table rule was a thing because they used to have wide tables that they would like lay on top of like pedestals or something. And if you put your elbows on the table, it would flip the table. So it was like, it wasn't even etiquette. It was just like, hey, if you put your elbows on the table, you're going to fucking knock everything off. But that's not a thing anymore. So it's like, who cares? You know? If there's no room on the table to put your elbows, all right, fine, don't put your elbows on the table. But it's like, most restaurants, you have more than enough space.
Elbows on the table. But towards the end of a meal is normally when you see people doing it, particularly if it's a dinner and they're getting a bit tired and they need a bit of support. Historically, why we don't do that is because the dining tables that we used to dine from in the medieval period were, they weren't secure tables like this. They were benches.
Hey, I know history.
With sheets of wood put on top of them. And the food was served completely differently from how it would be served now. And it was sort of put down almost like a big buffet down the middle of the table for balance and to secure it. So if you then started putting weight on another part of the table, you would tip the tables, and thus it was bad manners for you to put your elbows on the table. So,
but I wouldn't even say that's bad manners. Like, manners is like this, like, posh, like richy rich way of conducting yourself at a formal dinner. You know, how you're supposed to it's very small things you're supposed to do to impress and not upset other people at the dining table. Fuck that. Right? He walks into church claiming to be Jesus. Chaos erupts.
Deputies responded to a church after a custodian reported that a man was demanding to speak with a priest and trying to access a restricted area.
Okay.
Talk to him.
Restricted area? What's a restricted area in a church? Just like the back room? It's a very nice church.
Hello. How are you?
Fine.
Okay.
Where's the guy that they gotta talk to? The one all the way up front?
Hello, sir.
Hey,
Deputy Wolin to the Sheriff's Office. How are you?
I'm alright.
Okay, so what's going on?
Pretty good, Jesus. How's it going? Yep, hey, you see right there? That's me. Yeah, okay. You know who I am. We don't really need, we could skip the introductions.
Today.
I just need to open this.
Okay.
You're Jesus. Can't you just open it? You immediately just, hey man, I can't really get into this lockbox. Can you open it up for me? Dude, aren't you God? Aren't you effectively God in the flesh right now? Couldn't you just, I don't know, snap your fingers and open that?
To do that, that's the church's property.
I am the church. Why did the cop not react? Why? Was he like forewarned about this? The cop was just like dead silent.
Okay.
Okay. Just no. All right. Well.
Here today.
Because I'm Jesus.
Do you have some friends around here or something? I mean,
This feels like an AI video, bro. I know. But this is on a Midwest patrol. I don't know. There's no way this is AI. There's no shot this is AI.
for me to help you, you have to talk to me.
No, this is real. This is so real. Do you think he's on drugs or something? Or is he just having like some sort of mental like breakdown? I don't understand what prompts him to just randomly assume he's Jesus. But that's not even uncommon. As fucking weird as that is. I mean, it's uncommon in terms of 8 billion people in the world. But it's like a very steady occurrence that people consistently claim to be a prophet of God and or Jesus every day. Like, there's one guy that's like, yeah, no, I'm actually Jesus. And they fully believe it. Can I ask what is in the box that he needs? I don't know what's in that box. Oh my God. See, no, that's fucking, no. I'm stopping him right there. I'm not religious myself, but yeah, you know, desecrating like a fucking religious area. Yeah, that's literally just vandalism. Vandalism of a religious thing, right? Like you're at a church. Just ripped off the cross. What the fuck? Oh my God. I mean, I feel like this guy should like step in. This was on my birthday.
Fucking gay, bitch!
Whoa! Whoa!
Get back! 20, can you step up?
I love how the other guy's also just observing. Just dead silent. I feel like I would walk up to the cop and be like, you want me to corner him with you? We could trap him. Like, well, we'll take him down if we need to.
616, can you get over here?
Bro, why does he keep... Dude, I feel like... honestly, I feel like the officer should fucking handcuff him He's gonna like crack his skull open doing that. He's like oh, did he just pass out?
I got more people coming. He's on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
How far out are you?
Bro, you got no. Bro, he's literally falling onto his head.
10-4. So he's dove a couple, 3 times. He's fell.
I feel like you would do this after too many edibles. You think I would storm into a church, claim I'm Jesus, rip the cross off what is this called? Not an altar. Maybe an altar? I don't know. Rip the cross off that and then just repeatedly fall backwards. No, I think I would probably just kind of morph into a couch and watch Dude, Where's My Car?
On something or other. He ripped the crucifix thing off the top of the thing there. And he just went and grabbed one of these things here and kind of came at me a little bit, but I shoved him off, and then he hopped back up there. So no.
Why are we not asking him what he's on? Like, I know he might like the odds that he actually says is pretty low, but I mean, give it a try. I'd be like, okay, you're Jesus. What drugs are you on?
I haven't been able to get anything out of him whatsoever.
Stay away from me.
What's going on, man?
I'm Jesus Christ Almighty.
I'm back with the sheriff.
Fuck you.
We're just trying to help you out.
That's exactly what he would say. I think it is him, chat.
Yeah, you're a devil.
No, we're not the devil. The devil's not here, man. What's going on?
You're the devil. Sorry, backing up, motherfucker.
What's your name, dude?
I'm Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay?
What's going to do?
Back up.
Is he going to perform a mass right now? Is he going to start doing a whole, oh, wait, there's another officer. Where the fuck did this guy come from?
Back up.
What can we do to help?
I'm Jesus Christ Almighty.
Okay, we got it.
Nobody else needs to fucking die for their sins, motherfucker!
Okay, we need to...
No!
Hey, back and get down.
Nobody else needs to
You
die.
are under arrest. Put your hands behind your back now.
No, I'm not.
Now, yes, you
No,
are.
I'm not.
You're gonna get tased. Put
I'm
your hands
Jesus
back
Christ
now.
Almighty,
Hands behind your back now.
Do you think he would have to end up paying for, like, all the shit he just fucking broke in the church? Like, how the hell would that work?
Put your hand
No, you're not allowed to do this in here.
Put your hand behind your
You're
back.
not allowed to do this in here.
You're not allowed to do this in here, bro. You're fucking smashing all of the shit in the church. You're literally, all the stuff. What did they do? You just wandered into the church, start breaking shit. I'm Jesus, you're not.
Sitting on a curb. From your first glance, they don't look injured.
See another survivor, they're alone sitting on a curb eating something.
What do? Option A, approach slowly and ask if they're headed towards the stadium. Option B, cross to the other side and keep walking without making eye contact. Option C, turn back and take a longer route. Or option D, make brief eye contact and nod, and then keep moving.
Where's option E, like, hit him in the head with a crowbar? Why are we never getting an extra answer here? Approach slowly as if they're headed towards the stadium. Cross the other side, keep walking without making eye contact. C. You C. You want to avoid contact at all times. I'm going to go D. I'm going to aura check him.
So the correct answer here is option D, brief eye contact and keep
Love
moving.
that.
So the reason this is the right answer is because you need to acknowledge this person without becoming a variable. Making eye contact shows your confidence and the nod signals peace. Option B or C, ignoring or avoiding them entirely, could be read as weakness, and option A of approaching them is risky. You don't know their intentions or what they've lost. While climbing a fence, you
E, piss missile. Yeah, you got to show your dominance. You walk up behind him, you just start peeing on his sandwich. Then you give him the nod and you just keep walking.
Slice your palm open on exposed metal. It's not deep, but it's bleeding. What do you do? Option A, cover it quickly with whatever cloth you have. Option B, wash and disinfect it before sealing it up. Option C, ignore it because it's too small
Chop off the hand.
to matter. Or option D, wrap it in plastic to keep the blood from dripping.
B.
So the correct answer here is option B, clean and disinfect it. So the reason that this is the right
Pouring fucking mouthwash on it.
answer is because any open wound is potentially an infection point, especially if you're touching surfaces or dead bodies. Every small cut matters in an unsanitary environment, and here you're protecting yourself from both regular and zombie-related infections. You find gasoline and a lighter in an abandoned garage. Do you rig a Molotov cocktail for
Yes.
zombie defense?
Yes.
Option A, yes, because it's an explosive distraction and it destroys the zombie on contact. Option B, yes, but only as a last resort.
B.
Option C, no, because fire spreads unpredictably and it draws attention. Or option D, no, it's better saved for sterilizing tools.
Ooh, D. D. What? Oh, lost audio. Fire spreads quickly, unpredictably. Fire rarely instant kill zombies. That is true. It would be better for, like, people.
When your route was blocked. It's a small space with one door, no
You're taking shelter in a back room of a corner shop after your route was blocked. It's a small space with one door, no window.
windows, and a zombie is just stumbled in from the front. Inside this room with you are a metal drawer, a kitchen knife, duct tape, and a narrow closet with slatted wooden doors. You have seconds to react. What do you do? Option A, tape the knife to a broken broom handle and prepare to fight. Option B, hide silently in the closet and hope it passes. Option C, climb onto the metal drawer and prepare to strike from above. Or option D, make noise to lure the zombie fully in and then try and slip behind it and escape.
Oh, God. These all seem bad. These all seem really bad. I'm stuck in a room with a zombie. I either make a shitty weapon, hide, make a lot of noise, and strike from above. I'm going to go C.
So the correct answer here is option C, use
Okay.
elevation and timing. So the reason this is the right answer is because standing on the drawer gives you both height, force, and also angle to strike the zombie. As established
Yeah, because you're going for the head.
before, these zombies are slow moving, so if you wait for it to enter and then drive a downward strike where it counts, this is probably your best bet. Option A, making the DIY spear, is not a good idea because makeshift spears often are not going to hold.
Did YouTube just break? YouTube's down? You're kidding. You're kidding. You're kidding. You're kidding. You're kidding.
Standing on the drawer gives you both height, force, and also angle to strike the zombie. As established before, these zombies are slow moving, so if you wait for it to enter and then drive a downward strike where it counts, this is probably your best bet. Option A, making the DIY spear, is not a good idea because makeshift spears often are not going to hold up in real pressure. A taped knife is
Well, yeah, dude, it's fucking taped. You're not going to get through somebody's skull with that. We don't need to know why those answers are bad. I know those answers are bad.
hands.
You fought off a zombie at close range. You're unbitten, but it blood spattered on your mouth and hands. What do you do first? Oh, God.
What do you do first? Option A, wipe yourself down with a towel or cloth. Option B, rinse with soap and water immediately. Option C, disinfect your skin with hand sanitizer. Or option D, wait and see if symptoms appear.
C.
So the correct answer here is option B, rinse with soap and water.
What? I would have thought, dude, like alcohol, like just get rid of it.
The reason this is the right answer is because if the virus spreads through blood, then you have to treat it like a biohazard. Soap and water removes infectious material better than alcohol, and sanitizer can't neutralize any contamination in the eyes or the mouth. Speed matters here, so waiting to see if symptoms appear is also a terrible idea. So by this point, all of your clean water is gone. You find a puddle of murky water next to a corpse that's clearly been mauled by zombies. What do? Option A, boil the water because heat kills everything. Option B, filter the water with cloth and then boil it. Option
Why is the music getting louder?
C, avoid it unless you have proper filtration. Or option D, dilute it with cleaner water and hope it's safe.
Boil like the music's like 200% right now. Boil it, filter it with a cloth, then boil it. Avoid it unless you have proper filtration. Dilute it with cleaner water and hope it's safe. C.
So the correct answer here is option C. Avoid
Yeah,
it
bro, the fucking dead zombie. A dead zombie's in the water
without proper
or
filtration.
next to it. Oh, fuck no.
So the reason this is the right answer is because while boiling is effective against bacteria, it's not effective against all viral agents or chemical contaminants. And you don't know enough about zombie blood to know if it contains persistent infection particles. Option B, filtering with the cloth and then boiling, is also a bad idea because filtering only removes debris but not pathogens. You're inside a store with broken glass on the floor. A group of 4 zombies wanders in from a side entrance. They haven't noticed you yet, and you're crouched behind the checkout counter. What do you do? Option A, crawl quietly against the back wall to the emergency exit. Option B, stay completely still until they pass, even if it takes hours. Option C, throw a metal object to the far corner and sneak out the front. Or option D, try and separate one from the group and take it down.
B. Because there's glass everywhere. Any distraction won't work.
So the correct answer here is option C, use
Fuck!
noise tactically. The reason this is the right answer is because zombies react to sound, and you don't want them investigating your section of the store. Throwing an object quietly obviously creates false noise distraction, and it also gives you a chance to exit.
Yeah, but there's glass everywhere. Why are you saying there's glass on the floor? I'm getting baited.
Option B, waiting, was a valid answer, but it's a gamble on your time. And option A is a bad idea because if you can remember from the scenario, there's glass on the floor, and crawling on glass is just risk. Option D, engaging one, is dumb. You should probably know that by now. You should always avoid confrontation if possible, and remember there's a group of zombies.
Unless I got a fucking gun with a silencer.
Other ones will hear.
Dead.
So you continue making your way to the stadium. You're almost there. When you're 2 blocks away from your destination, you realize that someone is quietly following you at a distance. They haven't called out yet. What do you do? Option A, call them out and ask them to identify themselves. Option B, pick up your pace, make several turns to test if they're tracking you. Option C, stop abruptly and wait for them to catch up so you can confront them. Or option D, turn around and start walking towards them to intimidate them.
Stop abruptly and wait for them to catch up so you can confront. B.
So the correct answer is option B, change your pace and test if they're following you. The reason this is the right answer is because if someone's following you silently, you should never confront them directly. Change your pace and take sharp turns, and if they match you, it's deliberate. Once you've established they are in fact following you, then you can break the line of sight and change direction. Talking to them or walking
Break line of sight, bro. I'd be charging their ass at that point.
towards them gives them control, and you need options here that minimize risk. So you've just changed pace and you've made several
Bro, I don't know. I feel like the fear factor on humans is so different, bro. Some guy's following you from a distance in a zombie apocalypse. You just turn at him and just fucking run at him like a maniac. Like he's gonna imagine somebody does that to you. Like you're planning on attacking that guy and that's how he reacts. You're now vulnerable. You're running away. Like he's not getting you.
sharp turns, and they match every move. So now you know they're deliberately following you. You're still 2 blocks away from your destination. What do you do?
Like, that
Option
would freak
A,
me out.
duck into a building, break the line of sight, and then exit via a back route. Option B, run the final 2 blocks to lose them and reach the evacuation point as fast as you can. Option C, hide in a shadowed spot and ambush them when they pass. Or option D, shout at them that you know they're following and threaten them to back off.
A.
So the right answer here is option A, break the line of sight and exit from another route. So the reason this is the right answer is because breaking the line of sight is power here. Once this person can't see you, you regain tactical control of the situation. Entering a building also gives you many alternate exits, angles, and barriers. And most people that are following you don't expect sudden lateral movement. Most likely they're watching you for forward momentum. And if you break the line of sight, you now have options to either double back, wait it out, or have a more controlled confrontation on your own terms. Option B, running to the evacuation point, is a bad idea because it shows desperation, and more importantly, you're going to lead them to your only safe haven and potentially compromise it. Option C, ambushing them, is also a bad idea because even if you win, you risk injury or noise. And you don't know anything about this person, so it's very unlikely that you're going to control the fight. Option D, threatening them out loud, is also a bad idea because aggressive posturing only works if you have leverage in the situation. Otherwise, you're escalating a situation where that person might feel cornered or it provokes violence. So you've successfully evaded this person and you're now 1 block away from the evacuation zone. A lone zombie is blocking the gate entrance. It's slow, but it's fully alert and squarely in your path. You have a crowbar, a flashlight, a water bottle, and a cracked riot shield that you found earlier. What do you do? Option A, use the riot shield to push it aside and run past. Option B, blind the zombie with a flashlight and strike it over the head with a crowbar. Option C, wait for another person to draw its attention and then move. Or option D, throw your water bottle to the far side of the street and then rush through.
Blinded with a flashlight? Bro, what is this, a fucking CS lobby? Wait for another person to draw its attention and move. Well, I don't know if anybody's going to do that. I'm going to go A.
So the correct answer here is option A, push through with the shield. So the reason this is the right answer is because bypassing is always smarter if you have the option, and here disabling the zombie is not necessary. A riot shield gives you both force and direction. Option B, fighting the zombie, again risks too much noise and injury, and you're this close to the destination. Combat is unnecessary here if you have the option to redirect and move on. For your best chance of survival, you should always avoid fights unless they're absolutely required. They've seen you the zombie guards earlier, and so now you're a panicked looking
Sorry,
crowd.
I'm trying to get through this last question here. You arrived near the evacuation site, surrounded by high fencing with guards and fatigues.
Nearby. You accidentally drop your crowbar fencing, guards, and you can see a panicked looking crowd nearby. You accidentally dropped your crowbar during the encounter earlier, and so now you're unarmed. What's the most strategic way to approach? Option A, push through the crowd because urgency signals that you need help. Option B, wait nearby and watch how the guards treat incoming people. Option C, call out from a distance and raise your arms. Or option D, walk directly to the guards, show your hands, and stay silent.
D.
So the correct answer here is option B, observe before approaching.
Damn it! What, like they're just gonna shoot you right in the head and they see you got fucking cut?
So the reason this is the right answer is because evacuation zones are often unstable. You don't know if the guards are armed or overwhelmed. Option A, pushing in, could get you mistaken for a threat, and option C draws attention to you, again without you having further context. Option D, walking up silently, can also be seen as evasive or again potentially confrontational. The safest thing to do is still to watch protocol and then mimic it calmly. So that wraps up the last of the questions, and hopefully you made it. So count up how many of the answers you got correct.
How many did I get right, chat? I feel like I got like 15 right.
You should now have a score out of 28. So now I'll tell you what your score means and whether or not you would have survived the zombie apocalypse. So if you scored between 26 and 28, you would have survived. You're calm under pressure.
Oh, I'm fucking cooked. Maybe I got 17 to 21.
You're tactically sharp, you're rare, and you're adaptable. Most likely, you would have lasted months into this outbreak, maybe even years. And you're the kind of person that other survivors want to follow. If you scored between 22 and 25, then you most likely survived the initial outbreak and you navigated long-term danger pretty well. You made some mistakes here and there, but luckily it was nothing fatal. With a good group, you're likely to survive. If you scored between 17 and 21, you'd likely scrape through the first wave, but stumble very often. You probably wasted unnecessary energy and you took unnecessary shortcuts. Survival for you is possible, but you'd need luck and good alliances.
That's the gamblers section. All or nothing.
If you score between 12 and 16, your chances are unlikely. You're likely a liability to your group, you burn through supplies, you draw noise, and you probably also
A burden to the group. Okay.
yourself. Unfortunately for you, surviving past the first few weeks is unlikely. And finally, if you got 0 to 11, then you're a casualty on day 1. You probably wouldn't make it through 24 hours, maybe not even the first hour. Most likely, you'll be one of the first bitten and also first remembered in the what not to do in survival briefings. Thank you for watching this.
Remember, bro, they're gonna forget your ass if you die fucking day 1. Or sharing their thoughts on the person's life is inherently a sad time. But I think having a mix of mourning, understanding the death, and not moving on, but like having that time to be like, this is like a sentimental, special thing where we're all, talking about this person that's died. And then the aftermath not being just gloom and doom and being like, all right, let's have a good time, have some games, fucking have some drinks, share some stories about the person, and, you know, enjoy it, right? And you're going to go between, like, laughing, crying. It's a mixture, right? Mourning's weird, right? Like, that's just how it is.
Our friend GB. So really, there are professional mourners, people getting hired to cry at funerals? That does exist in some cultures, and it does exist right here in the United States.
Oh, that's very weird. What? You could pay to have somebody come to your funeral and cry? Like fake cry?
Cultures put a premium on outward expressions showing how much we loved the dead. In Ireland, for instance, they have what are called keeners. So it's a particular type of musical lilting wail. I don't know if I'd want to hire professional mourners for my own funeral. I would kind of like the idea that people can show their emotions. I think that is a very good thing, and maybe it's the case that having those professional mourners kind of move those sorts of emotions forward. Here's a question from Em.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be like, I don't even know that guy. That's John. We just paid him $1,000 to fucking show up and cry. Who is he? He doesn't even know him. He doesn't even know the guy. What? I would get mad. That's how I'd get in a fist fight. I'd tell that dickhead to leave. I'd be like, what do you mean? You don't know. What are you fucking all sad about, ass?
Extreme embalming a thing. Please make it stop. I kind of agree with you. It is wild. For those of you that don't know what extreme embalming is, typically that's referring to preparing a body in a lifelike vignette. So if he's a boxer, you have the gentleman propped up in the corner of a boxing ring. Or if your cousin is a gamer, we have her in a gamer chair holding an Xbox controller. If someone asked me,
Yo, if I died and they put my body in the game, yo, bro. I'm just like, mid-com.
I could do it. It would take an awful lot of ingenuity, but I kind of agree. Make it stop. Here's a question from Power Slave. Why?
Oh my God, headset on. They cue me into a Marvel Rivals lobby. I'm just...
A lot less drab. I think the primary reason is oftentimes they're very old establishments, so they've been in a community for a very long time. You might hear the term funeral parlor when funerals moved out of a person's home, held in their parlor, and into somebody's business setting where everybody could gather and pay their respects. So when you have the prerequisite of being a parlor, you do tend to have 19th century accoutrements like big drapes and overstuffed chairs, and maybe some of those haunted mansion-esque things that you might think are creepy. Here's a question from Pal. Do morticians need to take a mental health and stability examination to get their certificate? And do you have free access to therapy? We do not have to take a mental health and stability exam. I do think something like that would actually be helpful in the future for people in my position. I also do not have free access to therapy. When you work around a great deal of death, you learn to kind of handle death. And I say handle because I've never really acted.
I mean, I'm also going to say that I think being a mortician would probably be less traumatic than being like an EMT or a paramedic. Like, just having to deal with dead bodies doesn't seem as bad to me as watching people die. Like, watching the light leave somebody's eyes that you're trying to save seems a lot worse on the mental than being like, here's an old person that had a heart attack.
It's so ever present in my daily life. It's a part of life that I'm really comfortable with. So in the same way you probably don't see OB nurses going through existential crises when babies are...
What about having to prepare a young child's body? That would be so sad. Yeah, what about being a paramedic and watching a kid get decapitated in a car crash? Like, you could have both scenarios be equally bad, right? Like, okay, what the fuck, Joe? I'm not, that's graphic. I know it's graphic. That's what paramedics deal with. Like, if you know a paramedic, that's not too far. I'm not making a joke. I'm making a fucking statement that, like, that job's hard, man. People don't talk about that.
I'm not going through existential crises when somebody dies. One in, one out, and I'm just here to help serve you guys. Lo Josimo. Why do people plan funerals before someone dies? Hashtag grandma's still kicking. I would say we're seeing more and more people pre-plan their funerals simply for the reason that people want things done the way that they want it. The best thing a person could probably do, short of talking to your local funeral home and doing formal planning, would be to write down what you want, at least the basics, whether it's cremation or burial or maybe a mix between the two. Write that down somewhere.
Yeah, usually in your 20s, well, you should write it down, but in your 20s, you're usually good. Genetics of the strongest possible human. 1 in 10 quadrillion. I don't even know what that is.
What are the limits of human strength, and what does that limit look like?
Half Thor Julius Bjornsson. Do you think there's ever going to be, there has to be, do you think there's a limit that we're going to hit where, like, world records just cease to be broken? Like the Usain Bolts and Half Thor Bjornssons that break the deadlift world record in the 100-meter, it's just all fucking washed. You know, like maybe once every 30 years some guy beats it, but like the 100-meter would be beaten by like 0.01, 0.02, you know, which is still big in like the 100-meter sense, especially world record-wise. But like I feel like there's going to be a full cap. Like eventually people will stop being as strong or as powerful as they previously were. But like I genuinely believe like Half Thor is like a limit to like strength at least. It's like 7 feet tall, 400 pounds. I'm like, how much bigger can you get as a person?
Strength means a lot of things to a lot of different people. To an arm wrestler, it looks like this. To a powerlifter, it looks like this. And in China, it might even look like this.
Was that a guy swinging something from his nutsack?
So to make sure that we're all on the same page, let's go ahead and narrow it down. We're going to use the sport of strongman, which is arguably the most well-rounded strength sport in existence. We're going to look at the absolute genetic limits of human performance and ask what is required to push those limits forward. And in the process, we're going...
I always wonder if like a lot of those pro athletes specifically try to like, I don't want to use the word mate, but like have kids with somebody that's also like a genetic, like, I don't want to say freak either, but like somebody that's, you know, just a monster of their sport. Like, because you see a lot of these, no, genuinely, you see a lot of these strong men and they're like 7 feet tall, 400 pounds. And like they could most definitely have a kid that's way stronger than them. But I feel like they kind of 50-50 their odds. Because, like, all of those top strongmen marry, like, 4'10", non in the sports women.
Push those limits forward. And in the process, we're going to build the perfect strongman.
That's what Yao Ming did. What, he, like, purposely wanted to have a kid with somebody that he thought would be able to, like, combine with his genetics to make somebody that's, like, a super athlete. I feel like that's a little weird, though, you know? Like, I kind of respect the... just going off of love more because you're Brian, you're fucking, oh my God, Brian, not Brian, what is his name? Brian Shaw. You're Brian Shaw, you know, it's like fucked up if you're Brian Shaw's kid and they're like, yeah, we don't actually love each other. We just wanted to have a fucking sports monster. And that's you. You're not supposed to do anything in your life outside of lift big rock. Because that's what we made. That's what we did. We wanted crazy genetics for... No, like, that's fucked. But that's what you would have to do to have somebody that's, like, the peak in genetics.
Now, we all think of muscle as the biggest and most important aspect of strength, and while it is certainly important, your frame is going to determine what your baseline potential is. It determines how much muscle you can hold and how efficient you're going to be when you actually go to use it. If you take a squat or a bench press, the most optimized build is going to be the ever sought after Chad Dachshund build. Most of your height is going to be in your torso.
Yeah, I felt like the best bench build is to have really short arms where your bench is just like, and that's like a full rep.
Most of your height is going to be in your torsos, and your legs are going to look like little malformed nubs. Now,
what the fuck?
Hyper-optimized Hobbit builds have broken the sports of powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting. This actually isn't very useful in day-to-day life. It turns out that the perfect strongman build is going to be two things. Tall.
Just big as fuck. That's what... Is there actually a perfect strongman build? I feel like it's just... be like 7 feet tall and 450 pounds.
And apey. Tall because it's
tall and apey. Tall and apey, like big, like long arms. Like, they're tall and also have very long limbs.
Easier to load to high platforms when the platform is at your belly button. It also gives you a longer stride for moving events, and it potentiates more mass. I know many of you are already feverishly typing pound for pound in the comments, but stop and think for a minute. If you had to ride a bird, you wouldn't pass up the ostrich because a roadrunner has a higher dot score. We're talking about limits, and that means maxing out the things that push those limits further, and with strength, that means being big. Capiche? So those prototypes in strongman have already existed with Hafthor Bjornsson, Brian Shaw, Tom Stoltman, all men that are 6'8" or taller and weigh on the order of 200 kilos at their peak. Now, height is distributed
200 fucking kilograms, chat. You can't get bigger than that and reasonably be able to fill that frame. You know what I mean? Like, genetics of the strongest possible human. When you see guys that are like above 7 feet, like NBA players, even ones that are bigger, like, a lot of the time they don't fill out because they're more lanky because they're just fucking so tall. And even when you're like this big, dude, everyday life, like, yeah, you could have the genetically most strongest possible human there. They're not going to be able to fucking do anything. They can't fit in cars. They can't go on planes. They can't fucking fit through door frames. Everything needs to be custom built. They have to order their shoes online from a fucking factory directly where they're going to have some guy fucking sew his shoes for him. Wemby is he's not like lanky how other NBA players are. How old is Victor Wembanyama? Or not old, tall. 7'4". He's big. Like, honestly, chat, he's thin, but he's like pretty jacked for somebody of his height. Like, but that's what I'm saying. This guy's 7'4". He would never be 450 pounds. Like, he has the tall, thin build. He's not 7'4", he's 7'7". It said he was 7'4". Is he really 7'7"? No, it says he's 7'4". He's not officially 7'7". He's officially set as 7'4" for the San Antonio Spurs. Anyways, either way, like, when you're above 7 feet tall, like, you just can't fill out your body. It's hard. Even if, I mean, these guys are on fucking copious amounts of steroids. So, you know, you could put that into part of the process. But
a bell curve.
He's still growing. Does he have Marfan syndrome?
In the population, there are going to be a lot of people centered around the average global height of 5'7.5" inches for men. And every inch increase in height becomes exponentially more rare. Be sure to remember this in the event that you see my wife on the street so that you can remind her that her husband is in fact a tall man. The physical stature of the giant and strongman is very rare indeed. 6'9" is estimated to be 1 in 50,000 people. And to push that limit a bit,
7'1" is 1 in hundreds of millions. That's why I always love the statistic that if you know somebody that's 7 feet tall, there's like a 1 in 10 chance they're in the NBA right now. Not even like a previous NBA player. If you know somebody that's 7 feet tall, there's like literally a 10% chance they're currently in the NBA, like playing in the NBA.
You're 7 feet, you're looking at 1 in 10 million. So if you're mapping out the genetic blueprint of this perfect strongman, you might just look at the pituitary gland and think, I'm just gonna supercharge that sucker. We're going to infuse all of the gigantism that we can into this specimen. This fetus is gonna be flooded with...
But there's a level of mobility reduction to where they're not gonna be able to lift things either. Like, you still need some level of speed and agility for strongmen and strength in general. Like, when you see guys that are over like 7'5" run, dude, it's like watching literally a stick figure try to like sprint. Like, they can't cut like most people do. And that's why there's so much coaching for like Wembanyama. He has so much coaching for mobility and how he's able to move. That's why he's such a good player, because most guys that are his height can't move the way he does.
More growth hormone than a deceased IFBB pro, and we're going to make sure this thing makes Andre the Giant look like a pipsqueak. Now, there is a problem with taking these genetic shortcuts. The flood of hormones that results in this egregious amount of growth tends to lead to wonky bone growth, leading to things like scoliosis. You end up with nerve problems from the bones impeding on the actual nerves and blood vessels. And even though the muscles themselves are technically bigger, they're not structurally sound. The flood of hormones can actually lead to something called acromegalic myopathy, and it's muscle weakness due to the growth hormone-induced metabolic and structural changes. And it's actually not uncommon for changes in joint mechanics to cause instability, especially in the knees, shoulders, and ankles. You got Andre the Giant, who is 7'4", was using braces and canes by his 30s. And colleagues in the WWF recalled that he could no longer lift opponents by the late 1980s, even though
he also, though, was an anomaly of a man that was that tall and also fucking jacked. Him and, who's the other guy that's really tall? He's in The Longest Yard, still alive. He wasn't jacked? Who am I thinking of? Also, yeah, he was. Yes, he was jacked. Jacked not meaning, like, ripped. Like, jacked meaning huge. Like, strong. Yeah, Great Khali was jacked. That's who I'm thinking of. Like, bro. This guy was fucking shredded. Actually, though. Great Khali is, like, more our era of WWE. He was a fucking monster, dude. Like, in a good way. Like, if fucking Great Khali height. He's 7'1", and he was fucking height and weight in prime. He was 7'1" and 420 pounds.
He was a monster. And Andre wasn't even that tall. Consider Robert Wadlow, who was a record 8'11" tall. I mean, we're not even...
Wait, what? This guy was 9 feet tall? And he was able to walk?
Even in the human species anymore. He couldn't walk without leg braces. He had no sensation in his feet and lower legs, and he suffered repeated infections from the braces, which led to sepsis and his death at the age of 22. Okay, so...
Dude, he was 8'11" at 22 years old.
Maybe we should leave the pituitary gland alone. We can get a very tall person just by waiting for an extreme outlier in the general population. We've had a 7-footer represented in the World's Strongest Man winner pool in the form of Ted Vanderpart. We can also consider giants in the NBA like Shaquille O'Neal, who obviously had the capacity for incredible size and strength. Maybe one day more NBA players will wisen up, and instead of chasing silly things like $1 million contracts, they'll join...
Yeah, they'll start picking up rocks for fucking whey protein sponsors. They'll make one fucking thousandth of what they currently make if they just go, if they fucking ship off to Iceland and start fucking lifting stones.
Us in our makeshift strongman gym that our moms let us set up in the backyard. Now, short term, I do see the talent pool of strongman expanding to capture more people that are in this category. However,
honestly, they have to make strongman more mainstream, and that would make the records shatter. Like, I love watching strongmen, but I would say strongmen is not a mainstream sport. It's a worldwide sport, but it's like nobody watches strongmen. Like, there are people that do, but it's not something that's like, oh shit, there's a strongman competition. Like, I gotta take off to go fucking see that.
If we're going to consider man-made fiddling, then we have to consider that it's not an astonishing proposition that in the near future, tall parents are probably going to engage in some genetic selection to make sure that they have taller children. And we've already seen...
We were just talking about that.
Guys desperate to meet the unrealistic standards of women in the online dating pool go...
Mortician answers burial questions from Twitter. Hi, my name is... But he doesn't talk like that. We've seen this guy before. Morticians freak me out a little bit. I'm not being rude to this guy. I love this guy. You know... I've seen his videos before. It's just like, you know, it's just like such casual talk about like, yeah, so I remove the organs. I remove their organs, then I pump them, I drain their blood.
I'm Victor M. Sweeney, licensed funeral director.
Victor. Victor is such a cool name for a mortician.
And I'm here today to answer questions from Twitter. This is Burial Support. DZ1B21. Why the different shapes of caskets? Typically in the United...
We got mother with wide bodies. You got mother with skinny bodies. You might need to buy an extra large casket for a motherfucker. You ain't know he got wide shoulders, you know? You might need an extra tall casket. Somebody got a wide body, not this way, but this way, you know? When I saw my grandpa's casket, it looked kind of normal. He kind of looked shrunk. I don't know if the blood draining did anything, but like, I don't know. The way they had that motherfucker when I was looking at him, I was like, you're like about like 5'9". You look about like 6'1" when he was not dead.
Body, we talk about a casket. A casket is rectangular. Oftentimes in other parts of the world, you're going to see what's called a coffin. So a coffin is what we might call anthropoid shape, narrower at the top where the head is.
I still can't get over the fact that in parts of Hong Kong, you rent a burial site and then they exhume your body after like 6 months and then burn you. I'm like, what's the point in getting buried?
Is wider at the shoulders and then narrow down at the feet. Other countries around the world tend to use coffins, and we use the term
What if I'm built thick?
even colloquially here in the United States. So when you hear someone talk about grandma's in the coffin, odds are good she's in a rectangular casket. Lamia 233, can you spread ashes anywhere? Or are there legal restrictions on that? This is such a good question, and it's one I'm asked all the time. Typically, a state does not really have a vested interest on what you do with human cremated remains. So you could scatter them essentially anywhere you like. In my state, a family has visitation
I'm just in the middle of middle of the Super Bowl. Woo! Yeah!
rights where a person is scattered.
It's like everybody's like, oh, is it snowing?
So if you scatter grandma in the bed of her garden, you end up with visitation rights to that flower bed in perpetuity. You can also do other things with cremated remains.
Wait, what? If I spread ashes somewhere, I get to go there forever?
You can have them made into jewelry. You can buy small keepsake urns. I've heard that you can press them into records. There are all sorts of things that you can do with cremated remains because they are simply pulverized.
Not funny, Joe. Everybody dies, man.
And they're inert carbons. Everything that is organic in them is gone. It's not going to feed a tree, as people commonly like to think, but you can do with them mostly whatever you wish. Here's a question from Plucky Duckling. Are funeral pyres and Viking funerals a thing anymore? There is one place, Crestone in Colorado, that does allow a funeral pyre. So that does exist, but you have to
I would love to get that shit, bro. Isn't that where they light your body on fire?
live in a very specific locale. A funeral pyre, as we're thinking of it here, is usually a large pile of wood or other flammable material that a body is set on top of, and then the whole thing is set alight. As far as Viking funerals, this is kind of a misnomer. You're probably thinking
Yeah, where they float you out on a ship.
of putting your loved one in a boat with their hands on the pommel of their sword and pushing them out into the lake, shooting flaming arrows at it until it goes up in flames. Viking funerals actually weren't like that. They were buried with their sword in boats and all sorts of grave goods, but the boat was dragged on land and buried intact. Here's a question from Signature. Why do people take photos of the dead in a casket at funerals and post it on social media? Please stop doing that.
Yeah, that shit is weird. See that shit on Facebook, just a picture of a dead body, bro. Like, yo, what are we doing? I feel like, and it's also like, you're not living in the fucking funeral, bro. Like, you're there to mourn. Why are you posting that shit on Facebook? Look at the dead body. People do that? Not often. But yeah, there's people that fucking do that.
Interesting thing, in most places, the right to take a picture of the deceased falls to the family. So they can either allow it or disallow it. But I agree.
Yeah, if you're the direct family member, who gives a shit, right? Like, it's up to you. It's your family's funeral. You get to decide. But like, I do think that's odd to be like walking past the funeral in the line, or the casket in the line, and you're just like, rip. Post that to the story.
Don't put it on social media. That's something that should be kept just for your own personal use. Next up, we have a question from Stan Combe Wills. Who gets to decide who gets invited to my funeral? The short answer is your family. They can decide who will come, and likewise, who is not allowed there. Fun fact, you do not need an invitation to attend a funeral. You can just show up. Funeral crashing is a thing. There was a gal that I used to
Damn, bro, that's fucked up. Yo, crashing a wedding's one thing. You pulling up to a funeral and being like, he was a great man. Could I talk? Could I give a speech? Video idea? Yeah, funeral crashing.
You know, back at one of the funeral homes I worked with, her first name was Bunny, and Bunny would come to every funeral, regardless of denomination and location, and I am certain she didn't know that many people. She came for those sweet, sweet scalloped potatoes and ham. Our next question.
Oh, she came for the food? I thought I could see people that just go to funerals because they like watching that for some reason, you know? Like the spiritual process of like people mourning. Like there could be somebody that like enjoys that.
Question is from Nate Bones. How come cemeteries never run out of space? Sometimes cemeteries...
Been asking that shit, bro. Been asking that. When's it acceptable to dig up a motherfucker from the 1600s? Never? I'm just, at some point, we're going to run out of space. They're doing it in China already. In Hong Kong, they dig up motherfuckers and they burn them. Right? Or then they put you in a box. Like, at some point, we're going to run out of land. You know, a bunch of dead bodies where you start stacking them on top of each other. I mean, that's why they have, what are they called? Crypts. They have crypts now where you're in a drawer. You're buried, but you're in a drawer. So I could see, like, at some point, there literally being just a building full of dead bodies.
Do run out of space. In larger metropolitan areas, sometimes it's the case where families will actually bury their loved ones on top of existing graves. In certain other countries and in other parts of the world...
What?
Graves. In certain the case, sometimes cemeteries do run out of space. In larger metropolitan areas, sometimes it's the case where families will actually bury their loved ones on top of existing graves. In certain other countries and in other parts...
So they're double stacking a tomb?
...of the world, you actually just rent a grave space. So for instance, in Germany, your grave space is not your mom's or dad's forever, but for a period of years, after which your rent expires, they dig up the dead, and they put them elsewhere in a common grave, usually. Here's a...
Why are we renting a grave then? I don't get, like, if you're getting buried, isn't it supposed to be a permanent resting space? They gotta dig you up. They gotta dig you up when you don't make rent. And what is a common grave? A place in the ground where multiple unrelated dead bodies are buried.
From Dr. Bumforfire, what is sky burial? Sky burial is a practice that takes place in Tibet or Nepal, where bodies are actually left out and hacked apart for condors and vultures to eat. The way that they render a human body to just bones is by letting animals do the work. We have a...
I kind of fuck with that. I've always said, I don't think I want them to hack me to pieces. I think you just chuck my ass in the ocean. Not off a pier, you know, drive out 10 miles, throw my dead body in the water. Throw my dead body in the water, tie my ankle to a cinder block, and then the fish will eat me.
Question here from Teaspoon. Do funeral homes have busy times of the year, or is it just dead all year? Fall and spring are going to be the busier times of year. Fall, because the weather change has something to do with there being more deaths. And spring is usually busier, especially where I'm from, where it's cold. We have a normal workload, and
more people die in the spring and the fall.
And then all sorts of burials that we had to delay over winter. That end stretch of winter into spring, when everything starts to melt, the ground is simply too soggy to even set foot in the cemetery, let alone bring a whole line of cars and a casket. From
fall and spring are the busier times. Fall because the weather change has something to do with there being more deaths. Spring is usually busier, especially where I'm from, because where it's cold, we have to do all the burials we had to delay over the winter.
From Kai Schwa. Why are funeral homes always family owned? Interestingly enough, more and more, we're seeing funeral homes get bought up by corporate entities. So it could be that you're...
On God, I'm hearing this motherfucker's tummy rumble. Listen.
We're seeing funeral homes get bought up by corporate entities.
I'm hearing his stomach grumble when no, it's not mine.
So it could be that your local funeral home, despite being called the Smith Family Funeral Home, is actually owned by a larger conglomerate who might operate 5, 6...
Somebody get this guy a Cliff Bar. Sorry.
Family Funeral Home is actually owned by a larger conglomerate who might operate 5, 6, 10 funeral homes in your area. I think you'll always find that the business where you know the owner and they live in your locality and they shop at your stores are generally going to be more caring and more transparent than the ones that are there simply to turn a profit.
Well, I mean, they're all there to turn a profit, but yeah, you're more open to people that are localized versus like, imagine like Amazon had a funeral home. You'd be like, okay, well, I don't really want to do that. You know, you'd rather go with somebody that's like local and actually gonna care. But at the same time, I think it'd be a cool rule to have all morticians have to walk and make some sort of rough rudimentary will of like assets and then also wishes.
And make sure your loved ones have it. From Carly Star 82, why are funerals so expensive? Feels like a scam. Usually when we're planning a funeral, there may be 3 subsections that a family has to pay for. The first one is professional services. That would include things like setting up the funeral and going to it and bringing a body from the place of death, maybe embalming the body or taking the body to the crematory. Another subsection would be merchandise, things like a casket or an urn, maybe a burial vault. And then
Yeah, but I feel like some of those cost so much money. And I know, bro, they got to be profiting off of it. I mean, that's what a funeral home is. Like, a funeral home is a business, right? They have profit margins. How much is an urn? I feel like they vary widely. $75 to $350. Not that bad. How much is a casket? $2,000 to $5,000. See, I mean, yo, put me in a cardboard box. $5,000? $5,000 for a fucking casket.
the third section are what we call cash advanced items. So things like your gravedigger, your funeral lunch, flowers, newspaper obituaries, all the other odds and ends that are tangentially related to the funeral will get conglomerated into one big bill. So usually when a family receives, let's say, a $10,000 funeral bill, it will include part that goes to the funeral home, but a lot of it's going to be paid out to everybody else that participates to make the thing possible. Our next question is from SOS Fitness. Do funeral homes charge extra for plus-size coffins?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Being that there are more materials that go into a plus size or what we call an oversized casket or coffin means the price goes up. Here's a question from
that's not how it works with shoes, Mr. Victor. So why is it doing the same thing with caskets? Interesting. No, it's because usually, I think it's because the majority of dead bodies will fit in a casket unless you need a plus size casket. Whereas like shoes, everybody has a different shoe size. But I have a shoe, like if my shoe size is like 11 and a half, your shoe size is 5. Me and you are still going to fit in the same fucking coffin. But now you have a guy that's 6'6" and 430 pounds. That guy needs to go in a special coffin.
Tyranny1. Is wearing black to funerals still a thing, or can I wear any neutral color? You can wear any color you want. I've had families where they want the funeral to be more of a celebration. I've had families come wearing all Hawaiian shirts, or all sports jerseys, or everybody wears purple because that's grandma's favorite color. Next up, we have a question from Saru Atik. How to write a eulogy? I'm not good with words. I actually had to give the eulogy at my best friend's funeral when he took his own life. And that's an extremely challenging thing. My goal with that was to talk about my friend's life, but then talk about kind of those universal values that we all share. So things like unconditional love and
yeah, you kind of want to relate back to the people that you're speaking, right? Like when I spoke at my grandpa's funeral, like I'm not gonna bring up my philosophical views, right? I'm not gonna air out on stage that I don't think he's in an afterlife. But what I said was along the lines of like praising him as a father figure in my life, and then relating back to the fact that his memory will live on within us, and I'll remember him in my own life until the day that I die. And then it's my time to be remembered, right? So it's like I'm still sharing my view, but something that's relatable to everyone regardless of what specific beliefs they have. And then it's just praising that person's life and, showing that you are remembering them.
what he taught me about patience. Those are all universals that I think we
teaching is a big thing, like a lesson you've learned.
Can all understand, and those are really, really good topics for a eulogy. Here's a question from Return of the Goth. Is it a Southern thing to pull over out of respect for the dead for a funeral procession? Or do you all who are elsewhere do it too? It has always confused and irritated me. They're dead. I don't know them. I'm on my lunch break. Move it. It really depends on where.
You should pull over for a funeral proceeding of people. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm at a stoplight and they all got their flashing lights on and I could tell they're all a part of the same party, I'm going to wait for them. That's just respect. It doesn't matter if you don't know them because you're going to be in a similar situation as them. You're going to want them to wait for you, right? Like, I don't care. Like, I'll wait that 5 minutes.
Where you live in the country. Where I grew up in the state of Michigan, it was very customary when you saw a hearse go by, you pull over and let them through. Where I live now, that's not usually the case. In fact, I've been in trouble often enough for driving the hearse down the very middle of the road on the dotted yellow line to get people to pull over, only because I have a place to go too, and typically it's a little more time sensitive than your lunch break. Maybe instead of being irritated, you could think of it as a gift you could give to the family of your time. It's usually only a little bit.
I think it's a societal respect, you know? Even if you don't know, it's the same thing. You're basically saying I'm sorry for your loss silently by just having the common courtesy to fucking move out of the way, you know? Like this, they're all dealing with somebody that died. You don't know them, but like, you're basically being like, oh, sorry, you know, let me move out of the way. Not make your day worse.
Why would you have a luncheon for a funeral anyway? Hashtag doesn't make any sense. There is something really nice about getting together after the fact when the work is done to just sit and relax and fill our bellies. I think inside all of us, there is this certain caveman aspect. We bury our dead and we put them away for a time. And then we also gather together and eat and drink and make merry. And I found that having that opportunity to gather and to eat and to drink and to share is really, really valuable.
Yeah, bro. It's like the time you got to spend with everybody else, you know? I think that's like having the luncheon, having the stuff that's not sad after the sad funeral is nice because then you're able to share the time with the person that brought all of you together. Or it might even be the person that's the reason that you're alive, right? Like that's one of the points that I made, like in a eulogy. Like if you're a descendant of somebody that died, one of the biggest things that you could always say that people just relate to is like, hey man, like I wouldn't even be speaking at your funeral if you didn't exist. Like obviously my grandfather's not directly the reason that I'm alive, right? Comparable to my father and my mother. But like if he didn't exist, I wouldn't exist.
Oh, why am I here? No, I need to get out. No, I need to run. Push me down, please. I need to get out of here because I need to save your guys' lives. I need to go. Can you release me? I need to run away.
Sit down.
There's no. Yes, master.
Why are they watching him? Why don't they just walk? Like, why are there like three? I feel like they're doing this for entertainment, bro. Like, if I'm him, if I'm one of the cops, just walk away. Just let him sit in that fucking chair for like 3 hours alone.
Wait, do you guys like Logan Paul? Jake Paul?
Who brought up Jake and Logan Paul? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, holy reference.
Paul. Go. What's your social?
Why did he just bring up Logan and Jake Paul? What the fuck? What? That is so random. Why'd they cut that out? I wanted to know what he said.
Down.
There's no. Yes, master.
Have you heard of Prime? He just starts like a huge side conversation. What do you think about Lunchly and how it's basically just like a duplicate of like Lunchables? Do you think that's like a good business idea? Or I heard there was like moldy cheese or something. I don't really know. I've been thinking about getting him. I always see him at Walmart, but I never really know if I want to try him out.
Wait, do you guys like Logan Paul? Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Go.
Oh my god, if I'm choosing between the two? Oof.
Social? I don't know my
That's a hard one.
social, you done it. How many orgies have you guys been in? You 4.
Dude, Logan's just such a great heel in the WWE.
Tell me.
He just needs like therapy right now.
Although the family believes Shion is harmless, officers still have a duty to...
Wait, he said the N-word? No, he didn't. How many orgies have you guys been in? Ooh.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Go. What's your social? I don't know my social, you done it. How many orgies have you guys been in? You 4. Tell me.
He just needs like therapy right now.
I would air a 6'7" joke to him right there. See how he feels about that. How many orgies have you been in? Maybe 6. Then you see him go. You snap him out of it.
How many orgies have you guys been in? You 4. Tell me.
He just needs like therapy right now.
How did somebody just gigify the emote of Logan Paul in the Japan forest?
Although the family believes Shion is harmless, officers still have a duty to determine the credibility of his reported threats.
You keep saying March 8th at 12 o'clock. What's the significance? Nothing's gonna happen, guys. It's all a act. Look into my eyes and lie like I lie. You're safe. What's your problem with people on marks?
Oh, is that the workplace?
So you said you want to kill them all? Yeah, but then they'll die. Again, you're supposed to torture me today. And you don't choose to torture me, I'm literally going to kill you all. This is the last chance. If you don't shoot me right now, I'm going to kill you all. And if you don't kill me right now, I'm going to kill you all. Five. No, dude, this is the place where I'll be awakened, you idiots. I need you to take it off with me, because I'm not going to do it. Good boy.
As the
immediate high cortisol. Oh my God, stop. No, that would get me. That would get me right there. None of the other shit would piss me off, but right there, that'd fucking get me. Oh, I know, I can't take off my shirt. Good boy. Oh.
officers get Shion dressed into his new
They getting punched in the nuts, man.
county-appointed wardrobe, a revelation seems to wash over him.
Oh, wait, am I gonna go to prison? My children will kill you all. Let's go! No way I'm gonna do this with you guys. Let's go! Oh, don't touch me, you little.
According to police reports, once in his cell, Shion continued his volatile behavior, removing his clothes, piling them in a corner, and urinating on them. He danced
What? He took off all of his clothes and started peeing on them.
in his cell.
I've been there before.
Shion continued his volatile
I've been there before.
behavior, removing his clothes, piling them in a corner, and urinating on them. He danced, screamed, sang, and shadowboxed, and at one point attempted to break
Not that crazy.
the cell's surveillance camera.
Okay.
He also stuffed his bedsheet into the toilet, flooding the cell.
Wait, what? He took his bedsheet, stuffed it in the toilet, and continually flushed it.
To the toilet, flooding the cell. Eventually, as he began to calm down, Shion requested a Bible. A search of the father's car and Shion's bedroom was completed, but no weapon was ever found. A correction officer reported the day after his arrest, Shion admitted to him that he consumed shrooms the day before and had no recollection of the previous night.
How many mushrooms? Bro, I've taken mushrooms 10 times. I haven't done like a heroic dose, but never in my life have I tripped and then been like, oh, I'm gonna kill people. That's like a horrible fucking turn of events. Maybe that I could see that, but if he was actively on them. On March 8th, he advised CO Young that he could consume shrooms on March 7th. Not remember being in the jail the previous night. Oh, so he's saying he was on mushrooms while he was in jail. Maybe? Shrooms do not do that. I knew a guy in college that was friends with somebody that took heroic doses multiple times, went insane, and started taping dog treats to the ceiling to save his life. Like, there's like, that could happen. It can happen. You gotta be like the wrong dose with the wrong person. There's crazy shit. I know a guy. Yeah, I do know a guy.
Consumed shrooms the day before and had no recollection of the previous night.
He wasn't a friend. He was an acquaintance in class. Better put it. I don't remember his name, but he told us the story about that. Who's the guy? Don't know him. It was in my History and Modern Philosophy 2 class. He sat one row in front of me and one row to the left of me. I talked to him every day, and when we got on the topic of shrooms, he said that his friend took multiple heroic doses and started taping dog treats to the ceiling, and now he can't hold a job.
Shion was banned from all Mark's properties.
If you give me water, I'm gonna kill you.
If I give you water, you're gonna kill us, but even though you requested water.
Yeah.
According to court records, Shion Park was charged with 2 counts of harassment with a bodily substance, 2 of aggravated menacing, 1 count of vandalism, and 1 count of intimidation. After a psychiatric evaluation, Shion was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Get the full story without the
Yeah, I mean, if he took shrooms, that actually explains it somewhat. It really depends how much. Like, he could not have been with it. Like, if he took, like, a heroic dose of, like, fucking penis envy or, like, enigma mushrooms, yeah, you'd probably lose your mind for, like, 9 hours. But, to the point that he ends up getting arrested, then I feel like he would be, like, curling in a ball rather than living in that, like, I don't know. Maybe he did think he was in like a reality where everybody was going to die at midnight. Like, he could have convinced himself of that, but he was texting his coworker that he wanted to kill everyone. And days prior, he was already threatening about a gun. It like half explains it. I hope he's mentally okay, man. Genuinely. That's pretty scary. Somebody said shrooms don't do that. He is undiagnosed, needs intense medical treatment. I think if you have, here's the thing. People that take, no, shrooms won't do that in itself. But if this guy is already undiagnosed with like, not saying schizophrenia, but say this guy is undiagnosed with like multiple medical disorders, and then he takes mushrooms, those are going to get amplified so drastically. Like, that's why it's like, if you're like predisposed for like schizophrenia, you're not supposed to ever take hallucinogens because it could bring it out early. Like, say you have a parent that has schizophrenia. If you take mushrooms, that could be like really bad. Like, so he, especially his dad seemed like he didn't really get what was going on. So I'm assuming the dad probably never got him like to a psychiatrist when he was younger. You know, first manic episodes these cops have ever met. Yeah, they did get rage baited pretty quickly. I don't know. Ugh. He seemed so with it, though. Like, with it, but also, like, out of
The room should already have its own mini storage. Okay, so you've made it to the end of day 1.
Bro, I really just feel like these people be bums, dude. I know she's basically giving the rundown of, like, this is how you should survive based on, like, actual research. And so I think that's valid. But in my brain, I feel like I'm imagining this ragtag trio. All right, guys, we got to set a fallout room for us to sleep in. Everybody move the open cans full of water. I feel like I'd kick that door down, fucking karate chop all of them in the neck, instantly kill them, and then steal their shit and walk out. Like, I really don't think this group's lasted more than a week. Based off the vibes that this is giving off, like the answers, if somebody's like, all right, got my bug out bag ready by the door in case.
Barricades, water, food, signals, safe room, and hygiene are all handled. What should you do to finish the day? Option 1. Stay awake all night in rotating 2-hour guard shifts. Option B, start a small cooking fire on the balcony to reduce indoor smells. Option C, signal—
What? Start a small cooking fire on the balcony to reduce indoor smells. So I'm just saying, if it ends, no, I'm not even gonna say it. If it's B, I'll crash out. Signal from a window in Morse code that survivors are still inside. It's not C. That's like the worst. C's the worst option.
From a window.
Well, you're just from the, it's pitch black outside. You're like shining a flashlight. Fucking, like they're gonna even know it's Morse code.
In Morse code that survivors are inside. Or option D, mentally map a 10 to 14 day isolation timeline and nightly routine.
Bro, 14 days? I feel like I would leave the city so much faster than that. Stay awake all night in a rotating 2-hour guard shift. So you would sleep 4 hours at a time. I'm going to go A.
So the correct answer here is option D, build the timeline.
Mentally map a 10 to 14 day isolation timeline and nightly routine. Bro. 10 to 14 days. Mentally map that. Yo, I feel like I would write that down with like a pen and paper of like, this is where we should go by this day.
This is the right answer is because this sets psychological expectations and also ration discipline. Setting fires, making signals, or having exhausting all-night watches just create risk without adding any immediate survival value. So it's now been 48 hours since the beginning of the outbreak. You've not heard any sirens, no screams, no gunfire, just silence. You crack a window and you listen, and movement sounds faint and far away. What do you do now? Option A.
Do out a very big belch to see if anything makes a weird noise. Go outside and scream.
Slide open the window a few more inches for ventilation because the air inside is stale. Option B. Scan the street from behind the curtain for movement or patterns.
Already A. Already A.
Option C, step briefly onto your balcony and confirm how many bodies you can see below. Or option D, knock on the ceiling to check—
Stepping onto the balcony is really a bad play. There's a sniper. There's a sniper that's been waiting on the roof this entire time. Knock on the ceiling to check if the neighbor's still alive. I do love that play.
Are still alive.
I'm going to go A.
So the correct answer here is option B, scan the street.
Oh, scan the street. Oh, but so scan the street, but not on the balcony, because if you step on the balcony, that's where the nine Black Ops fucking 6 snipers just come out and trick shot you right off the fucking roof. Scan the street from behind the curtain. Yeah, for movement or patterns. Okay. Just to get like a gauge of who's outside.
So the reason that this is correct is because in the 48-hour period, this phase is about information without exposure. If you're looking quietly...
Bro, but this is like... I know the first day is going to be the most hectic. But I feel like once you're in the city for a long period of time, that's where like groups are actually going to start getting together that like want to attack people. And that's where like hordes of zombies are going to start, you know? I feel like getting out of the city earlier is better. I know it's going to be harder, but like imagine like day 5 of the apocalypse, you're trying to leave Boston. Like you're walking out to like everything's blocked on the streets. Everything's out on the streets, right? Everything's blocked. There's zombies everywhere. There's people waiting to see or hear you so they can attack you. Like you're kind of hard locking yourself into that city for a long time.
Through a covered window, this can give you insight into movement without sound or silhouette. Opening a window or stepping outside creates unnecessary noise and profile. And knocking is an even worse idea because you don't know who's alive or what they'd do if they heard you. You suspect that the apartment across the hall is abandoned. The door is cracked. What do you do? Option A, enter quietly and search it for supplies. Option B, close and secure the door from the outside to prevent risk later. Option C, leave it untouched. Or option D, knock once, wait, and then cautiously enter with your knife drawn.
Bro, with my what? Like a fucking butter knife? Like my kitchen knife? I don't have a better weapon? Bro, I have a fucking spear and a sword. Or a gun, bro. Like, literally, you don't have any of these. I just have a fucking kitchen knife. C, leave it untouched. I feel like leaving it untouched is stupid. Probably close the door. I'm gonna go B.
So the correct answer here is option A, enter quietly and search. So the reason this is the right answer is because at this point, controlled scavenging is strategic. If a room is clearly empty, it's better that you take its resources before someone clearly more desperate does. Avoiding all unknowns also isn't sustainable long term. Don't knock, don't announce, don't waste the opportunity. At night, you hear footsteps and whispering outside your apartment door. It's clearly human. What do you do? Option A,
press a fucking sawed-off shotgun right against the fucking wooden door. Go, hey! Are you guys, how many survivors are there? They walk up to the door. Are you guys in there? Boom! Right through the fucking door. Hole straight through their fucking chest. Kick that fucking door open. Bang. Elbow to the fucking jaw. Deck him. Steal all their shit. Throw them into the fucking streets. Use them as a symbol monkey like zombies. And then I get the fuck out of the city.
stay completely silent. Don't move. Don't make noise. Option B, whisper to your group to grab weapons in case they come in. Option C, make a deliberate sound to show that you're at home and you're not worth breaking in. Or option D, wait for them to move on and then open the door quietly to check.
Stay completely silent. Don't move. Don't make a noise. Whisper to your group to grab weapons in case they come in. Make a deliberate sound to show you're home and not worth breaking in. Wait for them to move on, then open the door quietly to check. Not D. I'm gonna go B.
So the correct answer here is option A, stay silent. So the reason that this is the right answer is because this isn't the time to act. Silence is your defense. If they're looters, they'll avoid resistance, and if they're panicking, noise can make them choose your door. If they're infected, sound draws them. You only move if they try to enter, and even then, you don't speak. Your flatmate whispers too loudly during a routine water check.
Yeah, I think silence is good. Maybe the sawed-off shotgun to the wooden door probably isn't a great play on second thought. But either way, I still feel like some sort of attack might be good.
And you hear a muffled groan from someone.
Release nerve gas through the air ventilation. I throw a canister of nerve gas through the vents.
What do you do? Option A, take a position at the door with a weapon in case.
A few minutes later, I hear a groan. Your flatmate whispers too loudly during a routine water check. How many waters do we... Oh, sorry. How many waters do we have?
One comes through. Option B.
How much water's left in the bathtub?
B, quietly relocate everyone to your fallback room and lock the door. Option C, tell them to stay put and go investigate alone while it's quiet.
When the fuck can I leave the city?
Or option D, whisper sharply at them, telling them to shut up and listen.
A. You can't risk losing your room.
So the correct answer is option B, relocate to the fallout.
That's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. All right, now we're stuck in the fallback room. There's no windows and one door. Now if the fucking zombies get in the apartment, you're fucked. You're fucked. What are you going to drill out? Oh, now what do you do? Start digging at the walls with a plastic spoon to fucking escape? What?
So the reason this is the right answer is because containment is the protocol here. Fallback spaces exist for this reason.
Yeah, bro, but you're stuck in like a 3-bedroom apartment.
You don't split up, you don't go hunting, and you don't escalate anything. This is defensive discipline. Move to the stronghold and listen. If nothing happens, then you wait. And if something breaches, you're ready. You overhear a broadcast on a still working radio. Evacuation might be happening 6 miles away at an old stadium, but you don't have any further details and there's also no schedule. What do you do? Option A, immediately pack and leave while the streets are quiet. Option B, wait 24 hours to gather more information or listen for updates. Option C, prepare a bag and scout the route before committing. Or
C.
option D, ignore it.
C.
So the correct answer here is option C, which is prepare to move, but don't move just yet. So the reason this is the right answer is because if you leave now, you risk walking into chaos or nothing at all. But ignoring...
It's so weird that like some of them I'm like, yeah, fully that makes sense. That's the right answer. Others, it's like, yeah, I get that. But like, dude, the fallback room when you hear something outside, like, I hate that idea.
It completely is also a gamble. The right call here is controlled contingency. You should prep a bag, watch for signals, and then assess the route. Okay, so you've gathered your bag, and now you have to choose one weapon to take when fleeing the apartment. What's the smartest grab?
Ooh. A knife? No, something long range.
Option A is a long crowbar.
Love
Option
that.
B, a short machete.
Crowbar, or how long of a... I feel like a crowbar and a machete are about the same length.
Option C is a steel baseball bat.
I don't even need to hear DC.
Or option D, a cordless drill.
I mean, what dumbass is choosing a drill? Well, actually, option D is good because you're going to need to make a fucking wooden shack in the Alps. You're going to need the cordless drill to fucking to do fucking home improvement. C.
So the correct answer here is option A, the long crowbar.
Bro, what? Nah, that shit's getting stuck in somebody's skull. What, maybe because it's like a half utility. I get that. I'm not mad at that answer. I would go C. I think the crowbar, yeah, it's because you could also use it for doors and as a weapon. It's like a multi-tool. But the steel Batman, I'm just like, you fucking... Wham! You know, like dude, I love a metal bat as a weapon in a zombie apocalypse is such a fire play. Just fucking, boom, fucking, bonk, literally just instantly cave their head in.
So the reason this is the right answer is because this is the weapon that you're gonna grab before leaving your apartment. So the weapon choice here needs to factor in, number one, how lethal...
Why not grab both? No time. No time. No time. It's not in the mental map schedule that you made 10 days ago.
Lethal it is against zombies, especially skull trauma. Number two...
Yeah, but dude, I feel like that wedge, that hook part's gonna get stuck in the zombie's head.
Utility in the field, so how it works against doors, fences, or breaking into places. Number three, durability and portability. You want a weapon that won't break and...
You're such an Italian-American from New Jersey with a baseball bat choice. Bro, I don't even think that's an Italian thing. I feel like the baseball bat choice is just a good play. Crowbar makes sense. I feel like the machete's bad. Machete's too close because you're within arm's length every time. And I know the metal bat's not as big of a difference, but like you could extend a lot more. And a machete to the skull, I feel like that's not instant chopping through. A bat, like even if you don't instant, it might be a 2-hit, but like the first hit's donk, like falls over, you know?
Won't slow you down. And number 4, ease of use under stress, so no skill or precision needed. The reason the crowbar is the best choice is because it delivers focused and dense impact, which is ideal for cracking skulls. It also functions as a multi-tool, so
Who just owns a crowbar? Another question there. Like, or a machete. Who just owns a fucking well, I mean, I own a spear. But like, who owns a machete or a crowbar?
There's no edge to maintain, there's no power required, and it's nearly indestructible. And basically, it works in both combat and escape. All in all, it's the most versatile survival tool that you can carry. The machete was a viable option, but it's risky. It's good in the sense that it's fast and it's light, and it's good for clearing brush or like cutting rope, but it's not really—
What am I fucking fleeing to Brazil? What am I going through brush? What am I fucking doing? I'm in like an American city right now. Where am I fucking— what are the vines overgrowing the fucking city? Oh yeah, sorry. Oh wow, dude, this really— I hear like birds and I see a fucking jaguar running through the streets. Oh shit. The city has changed in 3 days.
Hard impact because it can slice through soft tissue, but it might get stuck in bone. And remember from the beginning of this video, I told you that in order to defeat a zombie, you have to aim for its brain. And in order to get to the brain, you have to go through the skull. And a machete can get stuck in a skull or in the bone of its neck if you're trying to cut its head off. The base—
So can a fucking crowbar. That hook, bro, you're gonna hit it in the— Yo, if there's 4 zombies and it's a 4v1, you hit one in the head, you instant kill it. Now you're like trying to pull it out. The bat, you're going wham, 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 fucking over and over again.
It's like it could be a really good idea, but it's probably going to perform poorly. The reason for this is because it's unnecessarily heavy, it's tiring to swing, and also there's no extra function.
What do you mean entirely heavy? It's a fucking bat. It's like a steel or aluminum bat. I feel like that's so easy, bro. That's not too heavy.
Besides the intimidation. Bats also often glance off of bones. So
yeah, dude, that's also good for humans, man. That's good for humans, bro. I feel like, chat, what's scarier? Ooh, maybe a machete. For humans, you're running, you see a pack of people as well. Are you more scared of a guy with a machete or a metal bat?
Not great for cracking skulls, especially if you're swinging at a bad angle. And the cordless drill is wrong because
that's not great for cracking skulls. Hard disagree. I think I could split a skull with one swing of a steel bat.
Yeah, but it's probably going to perform poorly. The reason for this is because it's unnecessarily heavy, it's tiring to swing, and also there's no extra function besides the intimidation. Bats also often glance off of bone, so it's actually not great for cracking skulls, especially if you're swinging at a bad angle. And the
objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. He can't fucking read. This is why it says 40% of the fucking US American adults are illiterate, because he has the reading level of a fucking 3rd grader. Objects in the mirror appear closer than they are. That he's saying that they look closer than they are. It's saying the opposite. Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear, meaning they look further than they are.
They are.
It has nothing to do with what says on the mirror.
Yeah, it does. It is a—
Why are the cops not saying this back to him? Nobody understands. I feel like I'm crazy. I feel like I'm crazy right now. You're wrong. I feel like I'm fucking losing my mind. I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. That's what it says.
Awful statement on there.
Why do you always have to be so confrontational when you deal with us?
Because you guys—
he does this often?
Why?
This is about transparency. I have been being harassed by my neighbors time after time again, and you guys allow it to happen. This called me yesterday harassing me and then now she's pulling me over because she's breaking the law. And you guys want to write me a ticket because you don't want to sit in front of a judge in front of
For
what
what?
you're...
Talking on her cell phone?
Is it against the law to be using electronic devices while operating a vehicle? Is it against the law in the state of Wisconsin?
Not to talk on your cell phone like this. No, it is not.
Since when is it not to be on your phone?
In a construction zone, it is. If you're on your phone like this, you can be hands-free in a construction zone, but you can be on your cellular device talking on the phone like this. That is not illegal. Okay, for us or for anybody driving, unless you're in a construction zone.
Okay.
Okay, so if she's on her cell phone,
I don't care what
she
you guys
can be
are
on
doing.
there talking.
Anytime you guys are doing something wrong, this is what it's going to be. And if you guys are going to try to pull me over and give me a ticket for doing something wrong, we can take it to court and we can make this a
Take it to court. You're gonna fucking small claims court. You're gonna pay a lawyer. You're gonna fucking pay a lawyer to get what, fucking $500 out of this. You're gonna pay a lawyer so you don't have to pay a ticket. You're gonna spend more on the lawyer than if you just fucking paid the ticket.
Madison.
That's your right to take it to court, Joel. Just like you took that disorderly conduct ticket to court when we dealt with you down at the
This
school.
dumb bitch literally
Listen,
said in front of my kids
it ain't
that
gonna do you any good
I don't
arguing.
give a dude. What are you gonna do? Not a thing. Because obviously you're letting this fat do what the she wants anyways.
She's just doing her job.
No, she's
if
not.
you don't agree with it, you can argue
How
in
is
court.
she doing her
We're
job?
not going to argue
What
out
is the
here.
law when it comes to traveling too closely in the city? In the
Following
city.
at an unsafe, unreasonable distance
And
where you
which
wouldn't have
is?
time to brake.
Oh, so when that fat hit the curb back there, I didn't have time to go around her?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Ask that fat she hit the curb.
I can ask her. What's
Bro, he keeps calling her fat. Like, she's not fat, and you're also not in that great of shape, big dog. You look like, bro, what? You look like an average, like, he's acting like he's like Arnold. Like, you're, like, dude, you're a very normal guy at, like, judging other people's body types.
Because that proves that I wasn't close enough to hit her, because when she hit the curb, then I would have hit her with it.
Oh my God! And then he's gonna pull away, and he's gonna tell his kids, he's gonna be like, "Gee, this is why the cops in this city suck."
Not.
Fight in court, Joe. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you all day. Okay?
Oh yeah, because you're a fucking dumb, fat, worthless piece of shit.
Hang tight until she's done, and then you're free to go after that.
Giving me no tickets to the window.
Well, we're going to give them to you, so. Yeah, I can't hear you either, bud. If you know what's good for you, you'll stay in your car and wait till we're done.
Did I break the law?
Okay? So stay put. Don't make this any worse than it has to be, Joel.
What are you gonna do about it?
Stop.
I dare any one of you dumb to try to put your hands on me.
Just stop. You don't.
Yo, what is with people and threatening cops where they have weapons? Like, this is the dumbest shit. Yo, I dare any one of you to put your hand on me. Meanwhile, they all have a gun holstered on their hip. They have a taser and a fucking stick. Like, dude, you're cooked if you try to fight them.
No, you started this. You're allowing your
I didn't
officer.
start anything.
No, I was behind your fat officer.
If you be quiet and give us a minute, we'll be done here.
No, there's no.
He just keeps saying the same thing, too. Like, I mean, I feel like there's got to be a better... Dude, the whole book of insults, you just keep calling her fat.
Minute, you dumb.
Well, whatever, Joel. Obviously, we're not going to come to any sort of agreement here. So. Yeah, if you continue to do it.
Why don't we just take it to DC at this point?
What's that?
Take him to jail for DC.
Okay.
See, I feel like that's what I like. At some point, it's like, dude, you're just being so annoying. We have to arrest you.
Stop, Joel.
Me to unlock the car, or I will smash that window open.
Oh, that would be bad for the lease.
For what?
Get out.
For what?
Step out, Joel.
Disorderly conduct? A ticket?
Was gonna be a ticket, but now it's not.
Joel, you make this stuff worse, dude, by the way you
you
act.
guys did this. This fat called me yesterday.
Just
Here,
stop.
go.
Joel, knock it off.
She got me by the throat. She's got me by the throat. Stop. She's got me by the throat.
Come on.
She's got me by the throat.
Joel.
She's got me
Nobody's even touching his throat.
by the throat. She's got me by the throat.
Stop.
She's got me by the throat.
Okay.
Dude, you're on a camera.
She's got you by the.
Oh.
She's got me by the throat.
Joe, nobody's got you by the throat.
She's got me by the throat.
Joel, you need to...
Dude, you guys are doing this over nothing.
We're gonna do another search.
Dude, you're lighting up.
Like, bro, why? Bro, he could have just drove home. Like, he started all of this.
You're over pushing their boundaries.
No, I'm not.
For what?
You're the one that's being the jerk out here.
Why?
We're not doing anything.
How am I being a jerk?
Because the way you're acting.
Dude, I just got pulled over for nothing.
It's not for nothing, Joel. She explained to you why she pulled you over. You just don't agree with it. That's the problem.
Is that side good?
So is it this going to be lawful by a judge that you guys are arresting somebody for
You'll have your
honking
day in
their
court.
horn?
You'll have your day in court.
Hey, let's go. Wait until I find where you go.
That's a threat. That's a threat. That's a threat. That's another one. That's ticket number 4.
Push me again.
Knock it off. Come on, Joel.
It's resisting arrest.
Well, she's f***ing pushing me, dude.
You don't gotta push us back.
I f***ing tripped on my foot.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You're lying.
Stop f***ing me.
Battery to law enforcement, too.
No, stop f***ing hit me.
Joel, get in the car.
They're punching me.
No, we're not. Sit down. Get your feet in now.
Does he not know that body cams exist? I feel like this is a good maneuver in like 1980. But even then, dude, they didn't. 1980, people didn't give a fuck. Now, yeah, people care, but it's like, dude, nobody's hurting you. Like 1980 pre-body cam, you could be like, they're punching me. Even then, though, people would be like, yeah, the cop's punching you. People just wouldn't care. Now people care, obviously, for good reasons because there are cops that are bad. But it's like every single one. There's 5 cops that are all wearing body cams.
Feet in.
Stop.
Put your feet in.
Joel.
There's my throat.
No, we're just trying to get you in the car.
Nope, that's on camera.
It is.
That was my throat, you dumb.
Get in. Put your feet in, Joel.
No.
No.
Stop, dude.
Then put your feet in.
Stop.
We don't want to have to.
Ooh, he got those blue jeans, probably from Old Navy.
Feet in.
Stop.
We don't want to have to pull you.
Dude, you guys are harassing me.
Joel, slide in your feet, please.
Dude, I will headbutt you.
Do it. See what happens.
Run,
That was a niche joke. Only like 3 people in chat probably understood that.
dude.
Don't get a season.
You're about to get tased, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna. I want my kid.
Jesus Christ.
Roll my window down so I tell my kid to.
Child not cooperating. Why are they detaining the kid?
Stop. I'm trying to tell my kid to stop. Roll my window down.
No.
I'm going to tell him to stop. You're hurting him. He has disabilities. Stop. I'm going to sue you.
Well, I feel like the kid's probably resisting because you were resisting. So now the kid's going, oh, I got to do the same thing my dad did.
You stupid.
Send her out to the jail.
I mean, that's like a word for word kids just modeling what their parents do.
You think
It's a child? No, I'm not mad at the child. I'm saying, like, that's the dad's fault for being an ass for a half hour. And then now his kid's just going to do the same thing.
the judge is going to be very happy this all started over honking my horn?
I don't know.
You think my lawyer's going to be happy with that?
I don't know.
Because I can tell you right now, it's not.
Okay.
An officer remained with Joe's child until his grandmother arrived to pick him and the vehicle up. Joe was charged with resisting obstructing an officer, disorderly conduct, and battery to a law enforcement officer. While the suspect never sued over this matter as promised, court records indicate the suspect has been repeatedly sued in court for injunctions against abusive conduct, failing to pay rent, repeated issues of failing to pay
Failing to pay rent, failing to pay child support.
disputes over child paternity, failing to pay rent, and civil evictions.
So did he not have custody of his kid?
In both 2023 and 2024, the suspect was prohibited against engaging in conduct or contact with certain victims he had previously targeted. The suspect also has an extensive
He's a restraining order on him? What, from cops?
criminal history, listing dozens of suspected misdemeanor and felony charges. In the incident presented in the body
Since 2005, he gets like fucking 6 charges a year.
misdemeanor and felony
Oh my god.
charges. In the incident presented in the body cam, the suspect
Joe B. Chat, shut up.
ultimately pleaded guilty to resisting or obstructing an officer twice. The
I was 3 years old in 2005.
matter was fully adjudicated
I was 3 years old in 2005.
last month, and he was sentenced to 12 months of probation, required to write a letter of apology, attend anger management, and work to obtain full-time employment.
In a society obsessed with standing up for yourself, why do so many people
I always love the cameo from Officer John.
confuse self-advocacy with public tantrums? And then this guy actually goes and uses his own child to instigate an already bad police interaction. Some people don't wake up wanting peace. They actually wake up looking for conflict, like it's oxygen and they're running out. And when you've been a cop long enough, you recognize it before they even speak a word because it's all in the eyes. What hit hardest wasn't the insults. Officers get called every name in the book, and some no one's even heard yet. What hit hardest was a child, because there's a special kind of heartbreak watching a child get taught that fear is a tool and disrespect is a strategy. Now, in my opinion, kids don't learn by lectures. They absorb behavior. And when a child watches their own father turn a traffic stop into a street corner performance, they don't see strength. They see and quickly learn instability, and they carry it into their lives, and it just continues on. Cops.
Wow, yo, this guy's like spitting right now at the end right now. Officer John. Officer John. Start out with Officer John in the video. Why we putting it at the end?
Never get to wait for harm to happen. If someone's ignoring lawful orders and flinging unstable emotion anywhere it'll stick, that's when intervention becomes duty. Now, I don't believe this guy even learned a lesson, but loud never equals right, and crazy never equals courage. And in this world, staying level-headed keeps you free. Losing control gets you handcuffed, a record, and a judge deciding your future. Because loudmouths never win.
Wow. That was a fucking crazy video. Who's a kid with this whack job? Child needs to be removed from his car or from his care. Dude's unhinged. Well, I'm assuming that that kid's not in his care technically if he's paying child support. Maybe joint custody. But even then, do you pay child support on joint custody? I don't know the ruling on that. I know you pay child support if you don't have custody, you pay child support. If you do have custody, you don't. I don't know about joint custody though. I think that would probably depend. It would depend on the primary residency, I would assume. Next video.
You can't suddenly just have a sip of wine to be polite. You can toast with any cold drink. I wouldn't toast with tea or coffee.
Oh, toast. I thought he said taste.
But water, it's absolutely fine. And so, again, it's niche, but it's when people try to sort of say that particular rule, not realizing the origin of it. And for me, and I spend a lot of time trying to research where we get these rules from.
Yeah, no, I think that's fucked up to be like, no, you have to drink, especially if they're pregnant or an alcoholic. What? Now, I think there is something different, though, if your friend's like, if I'm out at a bar and everybody's drinking, and I'm like, let's all get shots. And my friend's like, nah. I'll be like, come on. You know? Don't be lame. But if he says no again, I'll just be like, all right. Like, I'm not going to force him to drink. But I'll be like, nah, bro, come on. You're good for one, you know?
How we have ended up, that particularly annoys me because there's no logic behind it. And the rule has got to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, you can get rid of it as a rule. Should you make your bed in an hotel?
No!
Well, depends on the type of hotel you're in. I would say if you're paying for housekeeping or you've requested for housekeeping, then no, there's no need.
Why would you make your bed in a hotel?
You don't want to make your bed look like an absolute sort of bombs hit it before you go out for the day and put the please make up my room sign.
Oh my God, I don't think it cares, bro. If I'm at going to a hotel is like shit scattered everywhere. I'm living out of the suitcase. I just have stuff and trash in a corner. Clothes are on the ground. It's like a pigsty, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck, right? Because I'm only there for like 2 days.
On the door, but you don't need to do it yourself because that's part of what you're paying for. You don't get a reduction in your room rate. So, no, you don't need to make your bed. Just tidy up nicely. How should you get the waiter's attention? None of this. All that.
I kind of just stare at them until they glance my way. Like this. And then they walk towards me. I wave at them. Oh, that's rude. Yoo-hoo! You fucking wave them over. Hello! Get them to walk over.
No, oi.
No, you just stare at them.
Don't need to shout. It's simply done with...
Ooh, I have done the check. If they're far and we want to leave, I go, if they look at me, so they don't need to walk over. You know, you do that. Little pen, Bring it over.
Body language. So you sort of sit up and back, eye contact, hand at the level of your eye is absolutely fine. And if they're well trained, they should come over. The main differences between the USA and Britain in terms of manners. Well, it's not all doom.
The only restaurant for 913 square miles. This video is like 12 years old, but it popped up on my recommended and it looks fucking interesting as shit, so we're watching it. In Guthrie, Texas. I feel like when you look at a map, let me pull up a map of Texas. I know people live all over Texas, but when I look at Texas, I go, okay, people live, like Texas is bigger than most European countries, like almost all of them. When I look at Texas, I go, people live here and right. Like, I don't know anything that goes on in this part of Texas. Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, but there's still like thousands of people that live there. Mountains and it's probably the, oh God. In Guthrie.
Are isolated from the world. 90 miles from Lubbock. We're 60 miles from a Walmart. We're still
60 miles from a Walmart. I feel like now there's no shot they're 60 miles from a Walmart. I feel like everywhere's within 5 miles of a Walmart in the U.S. Guthrie, Texas, Walmart. I'm just going to look up Guthrie, Texas. Population. That's how we'll know if they got a Walmart. 151 people. Okay, so my chat is larger than their town by a very large margin.
miles from a doctor. People that live in this community.
How far from a doctor?
Still 30 miles from a doctor.
30 miles from a doctor. So if you get gravely injured, you just die.
People that live in this community are very self-sufficient. Today we're going to see how much you remember. All right? Something that means repetition produces impeccability.
Yeah, this is what's... Okay, it's not... There's no way it's this outdated anymore. This is... Wait, actually, chat, what year does this look like it's from? And then I already told you how old the video is. This is from 2015. Does this not look like 1995? Like, this looks like actually like 2002. This is from 2015. I was going to say, oh, it's old, so that's why it looks like this. But even for 2015, this is an outdated classroom. You need a shave, I could tell. I could also tell your current razor isn't good enough for you, pal. You know what is? Dollar Shave Club, the sponsor of today's video. This limited edition Dollar Shave Club X Call of Duty Warzone starter kit ensures that you can upgrade your shaving game. Not only does it include the no-slip tactical grip and 2 6-blade cartridges, it also has a juicy lube strip to ensure that you get the perfect glide every single shave. And every kit includes a bonus code to unlock in-game Call of Duty Warzone content. What a deal. Not only do Dollar Shave Club blades offer pivot precision, enabling you to maneuver your shave in a smooth and efficient manner, but it also has longer lasting blades, so you don't have to replace your cartridges all the time. So make sure to click the link in the description and get your limited edition Dollar Shave Club and Call of Duty Warzone starter kit to better your shave, as well as get some in-game bonus content. Hey, while you're at it, pick up some Dollar Shave Club butter. Thank you to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. And let's get back into it.
We have 110 kids.
Bro got on the whiteboard 10 Mondays till Christmas.
We have 110 kids here, pre-K through 12th.
Oh my God, their school is pre-K through 12th grade. That's fucking crazy. You stay at the same school from literally 2 years old through high school.
Place unknown by much of the world. School teacher Karen Rothwell teaches her students all of...
Yo, what do you do at like prom? If like, say like your prom, like your senior class is like 7 people and it's like 3 guys, 4 girls. You're just fucked.
About the world outside of Guthrie, Texas. All eyes, it seems, are on the clock because it's homecoming and the football...
It's homecoming?
Ball game is only...
Who do you bring to homecoming?
...hours away.
Okay, and what's our...
Funny dinner. The only time I will refrain from cursing is like when in class. Like when I was in college or high school, like I wouldn't curse. Not around my grandparents, I'm cursing. I'm cursing around the grandparents. Don't care. I curse in college. It depends on the professor. You know, most professors don't care. But you would curse in casual conversation in college. You're not like asking the teacher a question and be like, what do you think about this fucking thing? No, you just have a regular ass conversation curse. But like, that's different.
Yes.
I don't around my family. I mean, I don't know. Maybe certain family members I wouldn't curse around. But I don't know, man. I'm like 23 now. I'm like, if I'm really in a situation where I'm not allowed to curse, bro, that's like lame as hell.
People swear.
That's lame as hell.
I think if you swear all the time, again, it loses its currency.
Your mom? Yeah. What am I, 5? Yo, what? You don't curse around your mom? Yo, I am even around kids. No, if I'm like in a public setting, I'm not going to be like sailor mouth, you know, just ripping curse words. But in like a casual conversation, I'd still be like, yeah, that's fucking stupid.
If you're a Gordon Ramsay and you're swearing like,
around my mom, though, yeah, I'm cursing.
It's almost been...
Dude, I remember the first time, I keep pausing. I remember the first time I cursed out loud. I stubbed my toe outside and I bent down and I went, shit. And I looked around. It's in 3rd grade. I started casually cursing in like 4th grade, which might be early, but I was just I remember I thought it was cool too. I was in 3rd grade. I was like, every once in a while, I'd be like, fuck. Be like, that's badass.
Expected. And I think we tune it out. We don't hear it, which is unfortunate. If I swear in front of friends, they probably know that I'm probably quite irked because I don't necessarily swear an awful lot. Or if I'm
drunk.
I do swear, I'm sort of swearing for comedy effect. If you're swearing, and I'm thinking certain words, normally beginning with C, that people use a lot, and they sort of think it's funny. It's like, it's not that funny that often, to be perfectly honest. So use it sparingly. Is it more polite to be early or late? Well,
is it more polite to be early or late? Early. But I think being too early is weird. It's the vibe. Here, okay. An event early. You know, you got to be at a place of business, work, whatever, early. Your friend invites you over to their house. You know, come at 8. Don't show up at 7:50. That's weird. That's weird. I say that. If I tell you, hey, be here at 8, show up at 8:15. Don't show up at 8. That's weird. No, seriously. Because if it's like somewhere where if you're like, hey, we're going to be going somewhere, show up a little early on time, late's rude. But if it's like you're getting invited to like a dinner at someone's house, show up on time, if not 10 minutes late. Yeah, fashionably late. Not too late, but don't show up early.
It depends on context.
I'm always early. Bro, it's so awkward. You know it is too. Have you ever been the first person to show up at a friend's house at a gathering? It sucks. It sucks. You never want to be the first guy. If you're the first, I just sit in my car, that's the move. You sit in your car while somebody else shows up and then there's more than 2 people. I think it's different. Maybe, okay, I'm just saying this is a guy thing, at least. If it's a guy hangout and there's like 8 guys, being the first guy to show up, it's like, you know, it's now we're like a duo. It's not really a hangout. You know, you want to be like 3 people more. So it's just you and him. Now you're just talking, you know. I'm sitting here acting like that's not what would regularly happen anyway.
Text. Socially, if I said to someone, come for dinner at 7:30, what I do not want is people to be early. I would much rather someone was half an hour late than 5. Not want is people to be early.
Wait.
I would to someone, come for dinner at 7:30. What I do not want is people to be early.
Yeah. Because you don't want to tell them. You tell them a time knowing they'll be like 15 minutes late, and that gives you that leeway to be like, oh, fuck, I forgot to do this. I got to get this done real quick.
I would much rather someone was half an hour late than 5 minutes early. I'm probably not ready at 7:25, but I will be ready from 7:30. For a business meeting, however, if it says it starts at 11, it means
maybe I am very proper.
Starts at 11, not you rock up at 11, go to the loo, log onto the Wi-Fi, get a tea and coffee, ready, and then sort of by about 10,
yeah, like a meeting, bro. Pull up 10 minutes early.
10 past 11, you're ready to start. So there you arrive a little bit early, ready to start at the time the meeting says. What do you do if you forget someone's name? I forget.
Never figured this one out. I'll never know. I'll never know. I just ask. No, there's a point where it's too late. You have the first day. It's like the first hour you meet somebody, you could re-ask their name. Sometimes I'm too distracted. And then it's like 8 hours hanging out with them. I don't remember their name at all. I don't remember their name. Maybe it was Mark. Maybe James. Maybe Jared or Michael. I can't really remember, but it's like, fuck. Ask a friend. That's usually the play. The mutual friend that you met, you go, what's that guy's name? But there's certain times where you can't do that.
Hating people's names. I try to.
Like gyms. Like at the gym. There's people I interact with at the gym, and I don't know their name, but they know mine, and I've known them for like a year. I can't, dude, it's well past me being able to ask for their name. Well past. Like that, how rude that would be. Hey, I know I've seen you like 50 times. I don't know your name.
Keep lists of names, particularly for restaurant or places I go. But if you do forget, particularly at a party, you'll
say, how do you spell their name? Oh, yeah. Linux. You go up to, hey, how do you spell your name? How do I spell Mark? Really? How do I spell Todd? That's a bad play. You're assuming that they have a complicated name, If they're a guy, realistically, if they're like a random guy, they probably have like a very simple name. Ask for their Instagram. Then they go, oh, it's just my name. I've had this happen. Be like, oh, you type it in. You got to ask them to type it in.
Very good friend Bob comes over to say hello to you. You have to introduce Bob.
Ask for their Snap. Yeah, and then it's the Snap username they had when they were in 3rd grade, and it's Fluffy Banana 83. It's not even their fucking name.
And the person whose name you have forgotten, you can do one of several things. You can either go, I assume you two have met. And then hopefully they go, no, we haven't. Hello, I'm Bob. Hello, I'm Steve. And it's fine. Or you do the introduction. You go, Bob, I'd like you to meet. And you go, I'm so sorry. Please remind me of your name. Steve. No, Steve, I know your first name. I meant your last name. Jones. Steve Jones, may I introduce Bob Smith. And you do it that way round. It's a complete bluff. Steve might clock to what you're doing. But again, he doesn't have to flag that he knows what was happening there. What are the best biscuits for dipping?
Oh, who gives a fuck?
How has social media impacted etiquette?
What are the best biscuits for dipping? That's a dumb question.
Big time. Etiquette has to reflect and adapt to the society that is around us. Otherwise, etiquette would not exist. And it's a shapeshifter. It constantly changes. And social media is such a big part of our lives. And etiquette is about interacting with other people. And how a lot of us interact with other people now is via using social media. I guess the thing that's springing to mind is the comment section, of which on this very video there is a comment section. And I'm saying this with love. Just because you can comment doesn't mean to say you should. They're not going to want me to say that because we want engagement. But if you've got something worthwhile to say it. But
oh, wow. Meanwhile, there's some of my chatters.
Don't say anything.
Hi, hello, penis, just typing random words. We're in sub only right now too. Let's unleash the goblins right now. See what they type. I'm free! And they just start fucking losing their minds. It's 6-7. It's 6-7.
You don't have anything worthwhile to say. Don't feel you need to. We don't have to have an opinion on everything. Be very boring. Should you wear shoes inside? So in some cultures, absolutely not. In Japan, for example, they're very big on removing shoes.
I think if you wear shoes inside, that's up to the house owner, or the homeowner, the apartment owner, whatever it is. It's their rule. If I see shoes at the door, I'm usually taking my shoes off. I don't like to. I've said this before. I'll say it again. We're going back in subtly. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. I think that taking your shoes off inside is fucking pointless, right? I would rather keep them on. I'm not going to be, rude and refuse to take my shoes off, though. Like, if somebody is like, hey, shoes off, I'm not going to be like, oh, can't do. That's a no-go for me. I'll probably take them off if I even think that it's a shoes off place.
You go into someone's house. What
if they're dirty? Yo, what am I walking in fucking poop? What do you mean dirty? What are your fucking shoes covered in, man?
I don't love taking
Mud? Like, yeah, there's dirt on the bottom of your shoes, like little specks, man.
off shoes when I go to someone's house, unless, of course, I've walked through a field. They're caked in mud. They are very dirty. If hosts are that worried about their carpets, their floors getting dirty, just don't invite people round. Go out to a restaurant or something. However, their house, their rule.
That's crazy he's having this take.
So if a host does want you to take off the shoes, it would be very churlish to sort of refuse to do that. If you
Very
are one of
churlish.
the sort of the shoes off brigade and you want your friends and family to take off their shoes, make sure there is something, for them to sit on to remove their shoes. It might be fine for a 20-year-old to sort of whip off their shoe whilst looking like a flamingo standing on one leg. But actually,
Oh, yeah, no. I feel like age is going to play a factor, too. It's a bit fucked up to be like, to an 85-year-old, like, grandma, it's a shoes-off household. They're wearing, like, they're using a cane to move. Yeah, sorry, you're gonna need to take those off. Like, that's fucked.
Yeah,
no, if you're old, it's like, but that's also just like, I think old people can kind of do whatever the fuck they want.
an older generation might want a small perf or something to sit on, so make sure you've got one of those handy. Are Irish exits okay? No.
Love an Irish goodbye. Love an Irish goodbye. I hate when people do it to me, but dude, just leaving. just fucking leave. What? An Irish goodbye is when you just leave. Don't tell anybody you're leaving. Just walk out. Honestly, you also usually leave when nobody notices you're leaving. Be like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. Take a piss. Nobody's around near the front door. Just walk out. just fucking. Maybe you tell the host. If you're at like a party, like that's usually what it'll be. Like if I have people over, so you ghost them. Well, no. Like you would tell the dude. It's like you say you're at a party. There's like 20 people, bro. I don't want to say bye to everybody, and then it's really weird, and you're like, all right, I'm leaving. And then everybody goes and looks at you. Just fucking walk up to the person and be like, I'm leaving. Anybody in the area you say bye to, and then you just fuck off.
Not really. I mean, the only time I think I did one once where it was at a wedding and the couple were so paralytic. I thought even if I do say goodbye to them, there's not a hope in hell they're going to remember it. So I did just go, and my taxi had arrived and had sort of been waiting.
They were that fucked up at their own wedding?
Sufficiently long enough that I was going to start getting charged. But no, generally you do at least need to say goodbye to one, if not both of the hosts, whatever you are at. Isn't life a bit short to be worrying about these things?
Unless you're at a bar. But that's a little sketchy. If you're at a bar and you just leave, like normally my friends would tell me they're leaving if they're at a bar. Because if somebody just left, I'd be like, are they like drunk driving home? I'd be like, because usually you kind of Uber like with other people. Yeah, at a bar, it's like you're kind of in a group.
You're missing the point.
What if they get kidnapped? Yeah. Well, I also think men Irish goodbye more than women. Because it's like, that'd be like unsafe. Like if a woman just disappeared out of a group, I think other women or men in that group would be worried. They'd be like, where did this person go?
I don't think life is too short to worry about other
people that Irish goodbye. It's usually like guys. Like my friend Jay will just leave. I'll just walk out.
people's feelings. I think life isn't long enough. Do Jen's...
Or he'll walk, dude, if I'm the host, he'll be like, I'm Irish goodbying. So it's like, it's not really an Irish goodbye, but he's only telling me that he's leaving. That's where you tell the host. You tell the host, you're like, I'm leaving. And then you just walk out.
Z have no etiquette.
Do Gen Z have no etiquette? Chat, would you guys say you have etiquette?
I actually think Gen Z are probably more aware of how their actions impact others than generations above them. Certainly from my own experience, when I have had millennials come up to say hi to me in the street, and I am a millennial.
He went millennials.
They're quite entitled. They sort of feel as if you have to stop and talk to them, and it's sort of their right that you do that. Whereas all the Gen Z people are so cautious. They're conscious if I'm chatting to somebody already in the street, they will wait until I finish my conversation. They will come over and say, oh, I'm so sorry, would you mind if we just awfully sort of said hi or got a photo? So no, it's not all doom and gloom with Gen Z. Have you ever had...
Nah, I think that's person to person, bro. That's not generation shit. You know how many times I've ran into people that I haven't seen in a while at like a gas station, and they're like, oh, let me take this time to have a 20-minute conversation. and I'm like, bro, I gotta go. You know, if I see somebody I know, I'm just like, yo, what's up, bro? How you been? Good? Oh, awesome, bro. All right, I'll catch you. Like, fuck.
A pajama day. Yes, when I was ill in hospital. But other than that, I wear clothes.
Pajama day. Okay.
Thought you might dress up for the occasion, but there we go.
Oh! Start the car. Is lying okay to be polite? Oh, great.
Ooh. Yeah, like little white lies. Yeah. I think that's fine. Like if it's something like, does this look weird? No. You're indifferent. You know, it doesn't look weird, but it's like, you know, you kind of get what they're saying, but you just don't want to fucking have them like freak out and be like insecure about their outfit or something. No, it looks fine. Let's go.
Big question. Yeah, if it protects someone's...
You're lying to Brooke? No.
...feelings, then yes, I think it's okay to... A little white lie is fine. A small lie, nothing sort of massive. You know, that's a lovely shacket, for example. You could say, just riffing. What a lovely part of the world we're in. It's so quiet. You know, that would be fine if you want to sort of lie to protect
Why would you just randomly do that?
Feelings.
Like you're just
but
yeah, I feel like a white lie is like somebody asks you a question and you respond with a lie to make them feel better.
I wouldn't, if it's a malicious lie, then that's when it's not.
Yeah.
Then it's not good. What is your pet peeve when it comes to etiquette? It's niche. Probably doesn't annoy many other people. When people say, you can't toast with water, it's unlucky. That was correct 500
Never heard that.
years ago, where the water was full of cholera. We're very fortunate to live in a society, certainly in Britain and most of the Western world, where the water is absolutely fine and is not full of bacteria. If you are Muslim, Hindu, a recovering alcoholic, pregnant, on very strong antibiotics, underage, or just don't want to drink that particular evening out of personal preference, what are you going to do?
You under surgery to crack their legs in half and extend.
Dumbest shit ever too. Reduces mobility so much. It's like I think the idea of like leg lengthening surgery is just such a stupid idea.
Bend them 3 to 6 inches to make them considerably taller. Given the enormous amount of PEDs that state-sponsored sports programs give their young athletes and the fact that they seem to have no qualms with playing God, there is no reason to think that in the near future we are not going to see young Chinese weightlifters in wheelchairs while their femurs heal in service of producing a master race of gold medalist Olympians.
I don't know. It's really the problem with like strongmen too is they have to take steroids. Like if you're competing in the world's strongest man, you're not winning unless you are on steroids. Like they're crazy strong to begin with. They would be guys that are deadlifting 700 pounds plus natural, right? Like Hafthor Bjornsson is huge regardless. But for him to get big enough and strong enough to be somebody that's lifting 1,100 pounds, you have to. Why? Because it speeds up their growth, their recovery. It speeds up how much ATP they have and how much they can expenditure, their stamina, everything. Right? But it's going to kill them when they're younger. And you see this in guys like, this isn't really strongmen, but like Ronnie Coleman, for example, is like one of the most known bodybuilders of all time. Lifted like crazy, like, you know, you could argue the form and like back surgeries and everything, but he was like one of the biggest bodybuilders of all time. And like kind of cited as like one of the best, I guess, open pros that there were. He can't even fucking walk now. Like, so it's just like, it's hard to even get guys that have the natural potential to want to do this because the downsides are like dying young, being paralyzed, like just for the straight up feat of, you know, lifting the heaviest weight. It's like hard to convince people to do that.
The average person, oddly enough, has an ape index of 1, meaning their reach is about the same as their height. But if you want...
Really? I would assume most people have longer... I have longer arms than my height. Like, my wingspan is probably like 2 inches more than how tall I am. NBA players are much longer.
As their height. But if you want to be able to comfortably wrap around 400-pound sandbags and lock deadlifts out on your kneecaps, then you need a build that is actually more similar to swimmers, climbers, and MMA fighters. Michael Phelps is reported to have an ape index over 1.05. John Jones and heavyweight Sergey Pavlovich both have ape indexes that are on the order of 1.1. And at the far extreme, you have Stuart Jamieson, who deadlifted 286 at 60 kilograms. Because
286 at 60 kilograms. Why are his arms just extremely fucking long?
as is evident here, torsos just get in the way. Even if taller people tend to have a higher ape index, the odds that we get a 7-footer with a John Jones-like wingspan is...
Yeah, doesn't John Jones have like a 7-foot wingspan, but he's like 6'6"? No, John Jones is 6'4". John Jones wingspan. John Jones is 6'4" with a 7'1" wingspan. Oh my God. He could probably touch his kneecaps standing upright. He is 6'7". No, I don't think he is. It says he's 6'4".
Going to be about 1 in a billion. Now you might think that's a long shot until our doc here puts his online biomechanics degree to use. Now you might be crying, but what about my overhead press? In strongman, that's not really much of a concern. Overhead pressing is 1 out of 5 to 7 events typically, and the biggest pressers in the sport haven't typically had very short arms. Hathor was actually one of the best pressers because sheer brute mass is such a big driver of pressing.
Oh yeah, his arms are longer. He has a bigger range of motion, but he also has more potential for muscle to be on his arms.
Strength more so than just leverages. And that brings us to the next important piece. We've got our frame. What about the materials? There is one mammoth of a mutation that gives immediately more muscle mass, more muscle fibers, and more strength to anybody who happens to possess it. When the MSTN gene is
3 balls. Oh.
Completely knocked out, you get 60 to 100% more muscle mass and 50 to 70% more absolute force production. Now, while we've seen this in mice, we've seen it in cattle, we've even seen it in breeds of dogs, it is extremely rare in people.
Oh my God. Is that a greyhound?
The one case study that we have is a child that was born in Germany in 2004.
Brother! I mean, thank fuck they blurred it, but still.
Okay, so far we've got selective breeding to guarantee our guy's going to be over 7 feet.
All right, so he's saying there's a mutation that you could have that increases muscle growth potential. Bro, that was like a fucking picture from the 1920s.
Tall. We got the limbs cracked and reset, and we genetically edited.
Yo, editor, fucking full blur that shit too. He blurred it, but I feel like he could have fucking blurred that so much more. I know he was trying to show the leg muscles, but still.
This freak so that they are just double muscled like crazy. Yeah, I think he's ready. Let's see what we
It's called a Hercules gene. Eddie has it.
got here. Oh no. Who could have saw that coming? I wonder if God also feels like he's in a permanent game of whack-a-mole. Grab some more duct tape, we're not done. You don't need genetic modification or a time machine to go back and swap out your parents in order to get jacked. You just need a proven training template and the means to personalize it to you.
Is this an ad?
If we want bones and tendons durable enough to handle the immense forces that we're going to put our boy under.
Was that an ad?
It's on autopilot. Yeah. Forces that we're
Fuck!
We want bones and tendons durable enough to handle the immense forces that we're going to put our boy under. We can't just crank up bone production. Just like with giantism and even PED use, the geometry of the tissues gets all messed up. So even though there's more of it, it's actually weaker. It's kind of like using more steel to build a bridge shittily. Now there's a handful of genes that can show improvement here.
That's what I do in polybridge. It works every time.
You have the COL5A1 rigid variant. You have the TNC variant, which shows enhanced adaptation under load. And you have the LOX variant that increases stiffness 20 to 30%. Now, since we're just picking genetic types like they're paint swatches at Home Depot, we might as well grab a few for insertion depth as well. The further down...
Bro, but here's the thing. Like, you ever made a guy like this? He's not going into strongman. He's joining the fucking NFL. He's going to be a fucking O-lineman or a linebacker. He's going to be a fucking monster. And he's just going to hold fucking 4 guys back at once because he's going to be fucking 450, not even fat. You probably get him like 500 pounds plus. And he's just going to fucking stand there and they're not even going to be able to move him.
A tendon inserts, the greater leverage it has on that limb. So the same amount of muscular contraction is just going to lift more weight. But when you take that out to the extremes, the top 2 to 3% of the population, they may have a 40 to 50% difference in lever advantage. If you're looking at a freak of pound for pound strength and they don't have obvious leverage advantages on the lifts, it's highly likely that the advantages are hidden in tendon insertions. Apply this to the immense amount of mass that our boy's 7.5-foot frame is capable of holding, and we've got a recipe for some truly alien shit. But now we're at the point where we have to ask if the bones will even be able to handle this amount of force.
Yeah, he picks up a 2,000-pound weight and he just fucking shatters he literally shatters his femur. His like entire body just collapses.
Normal cortical strength is 200 megapascals, and that's in an untrained couch potato. That means that your fat cousin's femur could support a small sedan before snapping.
What? An untrained person's femur could support the weight of a car?
Couch potato. That means that your fat cousin's femur could support a small sedan before snapping in half. To put this in perspective, Neanderthals were estimated to be at 1.8 grams per centimeter cubed in their bone density, which is 30 to 40% denser than elite human athletes. These estimations are higher than Brian Shaw's bone density, which was
yeah, just an average fucking Neanderthal, bro. Oh my God. Do you think, like, I know the highest Neanderthal percentage DNA in a person is probably, like, less than 1%. But do you think that plays a factor in strength? Who has the highest Neanderthal DNA recorded? Individuals of East Asian descent generally have the highest proportion of Neanderthal DNA, followed by European ancestry. The highest percentage somebody has is around 3%.
Estimated to be 5 sigma, or 1 in a few hundred million. But all isn't lost for humanity. There is still some genetic wizardry at play. A rare genetic case involving the LRP5 gene was discovered in a Connecticut family with bones so dense they had solid white x-rays. The family's density was measured between 2.5 and 3 grams per centimeter cube, which is 50% higher than Neanderthals and Brian Shaw. This made the bone near impossible to penetrate with typical surgical drills, and none of the degenerative effects usually associated with excessive bone growth plagued any members of the family. The only notable features they had were extra wide jaws and some bony growth on the top of their mouth. And I'd say that's a small price to pay.
He's gonna say that's some small price to pay to be able to lift 1,000 pounds. What do you mean? Like, if you have this bone density, you just start having weird growths just come out of the top of your fucking, like, palate?
And I'd say that's a small price to pay. If we're gonna pull a Dr. Moreau and cobble together an 8-foot human furry and make it run with 5 times its body weight, I think we're so far in that a bumpy mouth, really not a lot to worry about. Now, the odds of getting this trait organically is next to 0, let alone with all of the other features that we've insisted upon so far. But in the near future, when you're selecting your athletic destiny the way you're putting toppings on a pizza at Domino's, yeah, I'll take extra LRP5, hold the anchovies.
I love how in-depth he's getting into this. Like, I thought it would just be, like, very surface level shit. He's talking about, like, specific genes you need.
We know that muscles produce strength, and we've made sure that we got plenty of muscle, but we haven't quite unleashed it yet. See, your genes had the foresight to toddler-proof your body. By putting a governor on how many motor units you can recruit at once, it makes sure that you're not flying off the handle like a drunk teenager behind the wheel of his Camaro doing donuts in the parking lot. Now, with hacking your nervous system, we can start level 1. These are common genes that bias individuals towards more motivation and more aggression. But these are still more normie gene variations. They're pretty common in the population. We're here to push the limits. So what does the next step look like? Level 2 involves the SCN9A gene. You might have seen this in a movie before. This is the genetic variation that makes it so that you can...
Oh my God, you don't feel pain? Well, one guy in Deadpool had that.
Not feel pain. No pain, no gain? How about no pain, all the gain? This eliminates one of the primary obstacles to training, and that is the sensation of pain and discomfort. Shoulders a little achy? Maybe for you.
Yeah, but the problem with that is pain is supposed to be a limiter for you for your health. Like, if you don't feel pain, then, like, even if this person's training, they're, like, at some point, they're going to fucking heavily injure themselves.
I'm about to throw this bench press to the moon. You're praying to Jesus to make it through that last drop set of lunges? I'm listening to Spanish phrases on audiobook. And just think of how much money we're going to save on ibuprofen and DMSO. And we don't even have to worry about injury from tendon or muscle ruptures because we've already supercharged our specimen with tendons that could support the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, to bring this back to reality, this might not be as cool as it sounds. For one, these guys can't sweat, and that could be life-threatening in a ball-busting do-or-die
Wait, if you don't feel pain, you can't sweat?
gym session, which isn't great. And also, pain is kind of required to learn to not do things that might kill you. I imagine one of these...
Yeah, because then they have no idea what their limits are, and they would just always try to max out higher than they could feasibly lift.
Guys tearing...
Your pain lets you know your limit so you could push beyond it and then grow progressively. Like, if you have no pain, you don't know your limit. So, yeah, you could train infinitely, but you're probably just going to fatigue yourself more than you normally would want to, and then you're just going to be out of shop for most of the time, and you're not actually going to be efficiently training. Yeah, because you can't feel hot or cold. I thought if you couldn't feel pain, you would still be able to feel hot and cold sensations. Is that literally just like your nerve endings don't work?
Busting deadlift workout, pouring the olive oil on the large pizza and scarfing it down as fast as they can, only to start like biting their cheek, and they can't tell the difference between cheek and pizza, and next thing you know, you chew through the side of your face. But remember, guys, we're not here for second place. You got to risk it for the biscuit. So how about I just breed a few dozen of these 7.5-foot myostatin disabled, pain-free mutant freaks and hope that like 2 or 3 of them make it past puberty. Bob's your uncle, we're setting world records. But guys, we're not even done yet. That was only level...
Well, I want to know what you would estimate this person would lift if they had all these genes.
2. Level 3 is going to guarantee that we squeeze every possible ounce out of every single muscle fiber that we have slapped on this frame. This concerns the MAOA gene, often called the warrior gene. Now, when this thing's taking it easy, it's not doing its job, that's actually linked with higher aggression. And in extreme cases, when it's completely knocked out, you get Brunner syndrome. And while it's been associated with cognitive impairment, violent behavior, and problems with impulse control, the trade-off is, you guessed it, retard strength. I mean, look, we could have basically just manufactured our version of Absolute Bane, given our guy a Super Soaker backpack filled with trenbolone acetate, and called it good. But with Brunners, you get basically the same effect, and you just don't have to carry around the backpack. So this is what we've got: extreme height and leverages that are plausible to see in our lifetime, paired with some genetic anomalies that are less plausible. But we know that the capacity is there, and if they occur together in the right mix, we could get something that is truly mythological. But by the time we can make these genetic edits anyways, we're gonna be like the...
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're doing the odds here, but at some point they're just gonna be able to like pick and choose genetics. There's going to have to be laws against that, though, because that would be like a real dystopian society if you were able to pick genetics for your kids, because then at that point, there's like, I don't want to say there's no RNG, but like rich people would be able to just consistently spread the gap between the poor and the rich, because rich children would always be the genetically most advantaged, or have the biggest advantage, and then they would spread that to their kids and their kids and their kids. So just be like, if you were poor, you would just be rolling RNG on like your kids' health and what they would be able to do, versus literally just being able to pick and choose genes. Yeah, designer babies to the sense of like making them super intelligent and super fast, super strong, attractive, whatever you wanted, literally whatever you wanted to do.
Aliens from Independence Day. All of our ability and our value to society is going to be determined by our completely man-made exoskeleton, and nobody is going to care about the body composition or strength levels of the sad little alien nugget that exists on the inside. And on that note, I'm off to go buy a robot slave. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave your comments below. Till next time, this is Bromley. I'll see you.
Wow. Somebody said literally playing God. I don't think it would be playing God, because it would be playing God if you were doing it in the designer sense of just picking and choosing traits that you deemed as most valuable. But I think if you were able to cut out genes that would cause certain health defects, I would not see that as playing God. I would see that as removing the need for thousands and thousands of years of natural selection to try and weed out a trait that is detrimental to a human experience and human life. Like, you would be able to cut out it, like if you had a kid and they're like, this kid's gonna have is gonna grow up and he's gonna have ALS or something, it'd be like, all right, well, we're gonna cut that out so he doesn't get that. You know, we're gonna cut that out so he doesn't get this like Marfan syndrome or some sort of like, I guess, disease, you know. But then when you extend it to like, all right, you can make your kid whatever height you want, and you can make him do this. It's like now you're making a Sims character. All right, well, we're not watching this Mark Rober video today. We got one more video. Just don't be an asshole. Like, it's just, I feel like it's very simple.
Doesn't really have anything to...
Don't blow your nose. I blow my nose at the table sometimes. That's bad manners. Bro, but if I gotta blow my nose, that pisses me off. If I gotta blow my nose, I don't want to have to get up, go to the bathroom, blow my nose, come back. It's gross. What if I'm eating hot wings? And that, see that now I'm in a fucking, hold up. I'm gonna get real fucking angry about this, because I've had people get mad at me that I've blown my nose at a fucking table before in my family, and I've got, not mad, but they're like, you shouldn't do that. Yo, if I'm eating buffalo wings, my hands are covered in shit, my mouth is covered in shit, my nose is running because the wings have a lot of vinegar and are spicy. Sorry, let me get up and go to the bathroom. I'm already disgusting, right? I'm already covered in filth, you know? What?
To do with etiquette. It was more sort of safety of the food and ensuring that you had food. And we're now sort of 500 plus years later so ingrained that we just don't put our elbows on the table. We sort of equate it to looking bad. It does look bad, but historically it had nothing to do with looking bad. It was just to do with the food. Should you always say bless you? Well, not so much anymore.
The old predicament when somebody sneezes multiple times in a row. I've gotten to know there's a type of person that sneezes multiple times in a row. I'm a one sneeze and I'm good. Bless you. Thank you. You have a friend. Sneeze, 4 times, sneeze. And then you say it once. Right? But it is really awkward when you're like, sneeze, bless you. They sneeze again. Bless you. They sneeze again. Bless you. You see him winding up for the 4th one. Don't you fucking sneeze.
Or there is an argument for not...
I can't do more than 3.
...saying it. It goes back to sort of saying... You would say bless you to someone else because in the medieval times they had the bubonic plague or might have had the bubonic plague, and so you were saying bless you as their...
Wait, that was where it started, was the bubonic plague? I knew you said bless you because it was like, oh, you might be getting sick, and getting sick in the olden times meant you were probably going to fucking die. I didn't know it was during the plague times.
A soul left their body as they were on their way to whatever comes next. Hopefully, touch wood, we're all okay now, so there's no need to say that. But I think, again, it's like the elbows on the table thing. It's a hangover.
Knocking on wood is also based in, like, spiritual origin. I know that. Like, when you knock on wood, that's based off some sort of either religion or, like, spiritual belief that, like, trees had something in them that would prevent, like, evil spirits.
So it probably is better to say bless you.
I knock on wood all the time. That's like one superstition that I say bless you when people sneeze, and I knock on wood.
Sort of stare at them.
Knock on wood, question mark? Yeah. Like, if you're like, the Eagles are going to win this Super Bowl, knock on wood. Like, you're making a claim of something that will happen, and you're confident of it, and so you don't want to jinx it, so you knock on wood. Or you're talking about something that you don't want to happen, and then you knock on wood because you don't want it to happen, you know?
As they say, nothing. There is
never heard of that in my life. What? You've never heard of knock on wood? That's like, dude, I feel like you hear that every other day. Do you live in a cave?
Societal expectation that you say bless you. Should you raise your pinky when drinking tea?
Oh, God.
Lovely.
Damn it, dude. These questions are pissing me off.
Question. And again, out of my box comes a nice cup and saucer from the nearest charity shop. So, in terms of extending your little finger, it's a bit sort of Disney Hollywood to think that you do this and that posh people do this. You don't. You keep that finger tucked in. How we hold a teacup is by pinching with the thumb and the index finger between the handle.
I don't think I've ever used a teacup in my fucking life, bro. I'm drinking tea out of a fucking coffee mug. That's what I'm going to do.
And the rest of our fingers follow the shape of the handle, and we keep our elbow nice and tucked in. The sticking the little finger thing comes from a couple of origins for it, but the one I like to say is supposedly in the court of Louis XIV and XV, where tea drinking was at its peak. It had just come in, It was very heavily taxed. So it was only the royal family in France. And
You heard of throwing salt over your shoulder as a superstition. Yeah, but that's only if you spill salt. I'll do that. And that's really annoying when you spill. I spill salt when I'm cooking, and then you're in your own fucking kitchen. And then I'm sitting here going, I just dump salt on the floor. But it's like I have to. You know, it's easier when you're at a restaurant. You knock over the salt shaker. You're like, you know, you don't got to clean it up. It's whatever. Now you're in your own fucking abode. You got to fucking toss salt on the floor. It sucks.
Not realizing that actually,
I am going to skip the fucking pinky tea one because I don't give a shit about that.
should men pay on the first date?
You should offer. Chivalrous. I think a lot of people... Chat, should men pay on the first date? I think a lot of people, like, with, like, male and female equality, like, some guy, there's, like, a type of guy that'll be like, well, why do I have to pay on the first date then? Why don't you pay? Why don't you pay? Why don't you split? Because it's still chivalrous, right? Just because you want men and women to be equal doesn't mean you shouldn't be nice. Like, it's the chivalrous thing to do. It's a nice thing to do as a guy to be like, yo, can I pay on the first date? You know, like, let me pay, you know? Or splitting's fine. Like, it depends on the couple. You know, you arrange that with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever you're with, you know? You figure that the fuck out. But it's like first date and you're a guy, offer to pay.
So I would say the one...
What do gay men do? Split? Mask pays? Is that real? Is that real? No way. There's no way.
One of the biggest areas of change with etiquette is around dating. And I would say...
Any gay chatters know what happens? Like, what do you do? Ask ChatGPT. Yeah, for gay men that go on dates, why would I fucking ask ChatGPT that?
Whoever
when there's probably gay people in my chat that could just answer the question for me. I'm a lesbian. All right, well, what do lesbians do?
Initiated the date should pay.
I'm not trying to sound like a dumbass. I'm actually asking because I don't know. Like, I want to know. Like, who pays? You don't always split. There's no... And maybe it's just like you both offer to pay. Somebody just ends up paying. It's just situational.
So if I asked somebody out on a date, other than my husband being slightly alarmed that I've done that, but if I asked someone out on a date, I would pay. If they asked me out on a date, they would pay.
Oh my God, that's so... Wow, that solves everything. See, this is why we watch this guy. He fucking knows everything. The person that asks the other on the date should be the one to pay. I think that makes sense in general. And it's usually the guy that asks the girl out on the date. Whoever's the one that's like, hey, you want to go on a date? Yeah, no, that's valid. Because that is lame as hell if you ask somebody out on a date and then expect them to pay. That's weird. That's really weird. You go, hey, I just said that. Yeah, well, Zod, I kind of like filter out your chats mentally.
Can you split the bill? Maybe if the date had gone badly and you think there's absolutely not a hope in hell of us ever meeting again.
Date went badly, you go to the bathroom and just jump out the window and leave.
However, some people say they'd much rather split the bill even if it's the most phenomenal date and then everyone just pays, you know, half. It's fine. As long as you talk to one another and everyone's happy with whatever arrangement, it doesn't really bother me.
What else has changed in dating?
The Georgians had a lovely idea, which I do think we could bring back, called the bundling board, which is where you were allowed to, once a couple had become engaged, they were allowed to spend the night together, but not to, you know, see if, you know, they were compatible in that way, but just to sort of
fucking
see, did they snore, for example. And so a wooden board was put down the middle of the bed, and it was always in the bride-to-be's house, family house. The family would wait up to hear if there are any untoward noise.
Wait, what? So it, like, when they were engaged, they would sleep together to see if they hated, not sleep like fuck, they would sleep like sleep to see if they couldn't, like, lay in bed together?
Noises going on upstairs, and you would just sort of spend the night together just to see, you know, did they pass wind? Were they pleasant to share a bed with? And I think we all need to bring that back. Worst thing to eat while following proper etiquette.
Bro, I'm ripping ass 5 times a night. Yeah, just say fart. Yeah, passing wind. Rip ass. Are they farting? Yeah. What does Brooke say? Dude, there's sometimes where I'll eat, like, if I eat a lot of, like, broccoli or asparagus, my farts will smell so bad, and it's so funny. She'll get like really upset sometimes, but it's so funny. I'll rip ass, and it'll be like a silent one. And, 10 seconds go by, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, trying to, keep my composure. And then randomly she'll go, oh, and then fucking get up. Oh, and then stand up. Silent but deadly. Yeah, no, the loud ones are usually normal.
Well, burgers are pretty well following proper etiquette.
Worst thing to eat while following proper etiquette: chicken wings. No, ribs. Ribs. What's the worst food to eat? Crabs. No, it's not ribs, not chicken wings, crabs. Going to fucking getting a bib and fucking trying to fucking, peel out the meat and dunk it in butter. Your hands are covered in shit. It's not hard. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying it's disgusting.
Etiquette. Well, burgers are pretty sort of messy. I mean, sort of restaurant burgers where they are so big, you are going to have to deconstruct the burger. I know I get into a lot of controversy online for doing that. I think possibly my Esther.
Well, I'm not deconstructing a burger. If I ever see some shit where if they tell me the weight of the burger on the menu, don't order it. Don't order it. That's the Joe Bart rule of thumb. If they tell you the weight of the patty, they're about to wheel that bitch out. The bottom bun's going to be sopping wet, and it's going to be that thick of a fucking burger. Like they just took a packet of ground beef and went, and then plopped it. The fucking guy on coke in the back that's cooking that shit up mushed it, fucking just wedged it on there. You're at some diner. Fuck that.
America has been terminated, but it is better just to sort of...
That's the best. You like that? Chat, thin or thick burgers? Thin, smash burger, or not even a smash burger. Just like, I think like this thin or thinner. If the burger's that thick, like half pound, yuck. You can't make that taste good.
Construct it and cut and eat it with a knife.
Just stack multiple thin burgers. Just get 3 thin burgers.
And fork. Yes, they're delicious if that's your thing and you want to eat a burger, whether it's beef, chicken, or a veggie burger. However, it is a burger at the end of the day. And if you're trying to present a certain type of image to either the person you're on a date with, a colleague, a future employer, an ambassador, whoever it is, don't order the burger. If you saw the late Queen eat a burger, all of a sudden she is not the late Queen because the Queen does not eat burgers. I'm sure the Queen did eat a burger in private, but in public you have your public and private image, and actually sometimes you need to not necessarily order the thing that you want to. Go back the next day and have the burger when you're not around other people if you desperately want it.
What do you think the Queen's McDonald's order would have been? A secret McDonald's order?
Oh, she was anyone's for a fillet of fish. She was. She did.
Filet of fish.
Is it okay to ask for seconds? No. If it is offered, if you come to my house and there is leftover...
Who the fuck asks for seconds?
Lasagna or something, I would say, would anyone like any more? That is fine. But if you can see some lasagna on the side...
Me? I don't think I've ever asked for seconds. I don't think it's rude. Usually you're just offered. Any situation where you want seconds, it's probably like a buffet style, no? Like if you're at a family dinner, they probably have more food than you need, at least in the US. From how I understand US family dinners, there's always more food made than needed. And so you could just grab what you want. You make your own plate. Versus like dinner actually... Do you guys have dinners where you're actually served? Like where they pre-make the plate for you?
And it hasn't been
no
offered. Unfortunately, as a guest, you can't say anything. And maybe that's because the host is thinking, good, well, that'll do my lunch tomorrow. So I don't need to offer. Or maybe there's only one portion and there are 6 guests. And actually...
Thanksgiving? That's the one holiday where you're definitely just making your own shit. What? Thanksgiving? Your family makes pre-made plates? I would hate that. I would fucking hate that. There's too many things. I don't want somebody to choose for me. I want to grab 3 rolls, a lot of bread. Getting a lot of bread because I'm not a big fan of the Thanksgiving meal. 2 pieces of turkey, some sweet potatoes, some mac, other shit. And then you have like that one family member that's just like just munching down like broccoli. Not broccoli, something vegetable wise. Just munching it and be like, "Oh, could I have more of that?" Yeah, by all means, buddy. You could have a whole fucking plate. Yeah, somebody bought peas. Like mashed peas.
Someone's going to, well, quite a lot, 5 people could potentially get left out. So no, if it's not offered, don't ask for it. Do you break the rules when you're alone?
Don't care.
Leave a word.
You're trying to, boring as I point now. Where a little bit of was a fun. Swear. Is it ever okay to fucking swear? No, it fucking isn't. Let's be honest.
I'm cursing in casual conversation. At a dinner.
Bud, you don't have to do that.
Okay, he's going to do it.
Hey, but you don't have to listen to your dad right now. Oh.
Help! 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 He's actually requesting a supervisor now, if one is available.
This is the weirdest body cam video I think I've ever seen.
It's not your supervisor.
Nope, he's on his way.
Okay.
We could just sit here and wait.
He's on his way. What do you think, he's gonna fucking teleport here? Where's your supervisor? I don't know, I pulled you over a minute ago.
For him.
Ooh, this guy means business. You could tell he's the supervisor. Look at that walk. Big dog. Big dog just arrived. He about to kick some shit in.
Because you were doing something illegal. I wasn't. I was behind you.
Okay.
Honking my horn at you is not illegal. I'm allowed to honk my horn all I want.
Okay. Sounds good.
He's still screaming. What the fuck? Dude, can the cops not be like, "Yo, kid, don't listen to your dad right now. What the fuck is happening?" What is the plan?
Sir, do you want me to explain the law to you? Or do you want my supervisor to?
The law that I was honking my horn at you?
No, that you have to identify.
Oh my god, wait, no, that's not the supervisor. That's not the supervisor. I was dead wrong. I feel like he's just the fellow officer on the scene.
Only if I had committed
Damn, yo, somebody make that guy the supervisor. He got an oral walk to him.
a crime, which I have not done.
I told you the reason.
No, that's not a crime. Honking the horn at you is not a crime. You do realize that, right?
You're just getting yourself more tickets.
What law is honking the horn at you?
Okay.
What law, you dumb fat is honking the horn at you?
So the tickets I'm going to give you is for following too closely and unlawful use of horn are the 2 ones. That's furthering my reason for the ticket. And then if you don't...
Wouldn't that be a disturbing the peace, actually? Because if you, like, I understand what he's saying where he's like, I'm allowed to use my horn, but following too closely is illegal. And if it's like, dude, there's homes here. Like, he would just get arrested for just being a nuisance.
Give me your driver's license.
I'm waiting for your supervisor. Once I ask for your supervisor, you're done.
But they always do this in body cam videos where they're like, yo, bring me your supervisor. Do they think like the vibe just changes when the supervisor shows up and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. She was mean to you, sir.
You're supposed to go wait in your vehicle until he comes.
Okay. I don't have to wait. And I'm not going to. I'm going to wait right here.
How long would it take for like the horn to run out? Or like break if he just held that down? Hours? No. I feel like it'd be like a minute. Years? Now we're Googling it. This has somebody's answered this question. If you hold down a car horn nonstop, when does it break? It'll eventually kill the battery. Depends how fast. Ooh, voice crack. Cheap horns might overheat in under a minute. Good ones drain the battery, potentially lasting hours or until it's too weak. So it'll just get more faint.
Is it gonna be funny when I tell the judge that I was following behind you honking the horn because you were doing something wrong? And I just had a conversation with the day officer yesterday that says that I have the right to do something.
Yo, I feel bad for the kid, bro. Like, this is it. This is his dad. Like, this is just, like, this is like I feel like this is like an everyday thing. Because the kid wasn't like, what? He was like, the dad went, go, just step out of the car and start screaming for help. And he was just like, okay. And just did it. Like, not questioning his dad, being like, yo, what? This is not normal.
Oh, I know who you are.
Yeah, you dumb.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I know who he is. I'm gonna go back to my squad real quick and get some tickets.
We got 3 people now. What are they doing, bro? Just like, I feel like these 2 are just standing here.
You can't write me tickets. I asked for your supervisor, you fat man.
I'm recording. So, what's this stop for?
I feel like one of the cops should just go and intimidate him, you know? Pull one of these.
So I was going down Church Street, and he was flashing his lights at me and following like this close. I turned here, he's blaring his horn at me, so I pulled over. He got a 100 me, and I pulled him over for following too close. And to see if he was in distress. He's failing to identify himself. I just happened to know because Kim had said she dealt with.
All right, let's take our bets. Do you think that they get in a physical altercation by the end of this video? Yes. I think this will end with someone, like him running, somebody chasing him, and then either a fist being thrown or a taser.
Somebody who is very uncooperative, and I think it's him. Can I take him to jail for not identifying himself?
We know who he is.
Now.
So,
I'm gonna give him an obstruction.
Nah, I know she's trying to be a dick, but I feel like it's valid. She's like, can we take him to jail for not identifying himself? Because he's being an asshole, bro.
Okay.
so yeah.
And following too close.
Yeah, if you wanted to start working on those, and we'll get them out of here.
This fat yesterday was on the phone with me yesterday, and that's why she's here now.
Hey, Joe. What's up, man? I'm the supervisor. You want to talk to somebody?
Yes. Can I get
What's
out
going
for a
on?
second?
Just stay put. I can talk to you right here.
Okay. I was coming off of Ellis Street.
Oh my god, he has to be like inebriated, bro.
This dumb came off of fucking Main Street, had no blinker on when she made the turn. She was as well on her phone. I followed her down the road because I talked to somebody yesterday that made it very clear that if I had a problem with one of the officers, that I can most definitely make a complaint about it.
Okay.
So I was.
Yeah, that's usually where you call in and complain about an officer, not just follow them and lay on your horn for 5 minutes.
Followed her down the road to figure out who she was.
Joe, can I speak to your supervisor? Yeah, hold up. Hey, how's it going? What can I do for you? What's the problem we have today?
And I was flashing my light and honking my horn.
Were
And
you
now she
behind
thinks-
her or in front of her?
I was behind her.
Okay.
And now she thinks she has the right to give me a ticket for honking my horn. I got every right to honk my f***ing horn.
How close were you to her?
I was a car length behind her.
Okay.
She swerved and hit the f***ing curb like a dumb bitch with her car over here.
Yeah, so he could go around me.
And I was nowhere close to being by her. Did I drive any closer to anybody else than I do any other day in the world?
Asking his kid to back him up. Dude, I have like really good driving. You know I'm a good driver, right? You know, like normally when you're like whenever you look up from like your iPad and shit, like you see that I'm like obeying traffic laws. Like he knows what the rules of the road are.
So,
bro, when I was that young, when I was like 7 years old, we could be 5 blocks away from where I live, and it was like I was in a different universe. It was like I was in a different universe. Before I even knew how to drive, I was like lost. Like getting one place to another. Yo, you never have to know. You just sit in the car and you teleport. You don't need to know directions.
here, so I didn't see exactly what happened, but she says you're following too close behind her.
What
She
is
stops
too
you for
close?
that.
No, that's not what she stopped me for.
Yo, okay, I gotta say, side conversation, people, I don't know, maybe it's just New Jersey. People on highways fucking drive like maniacs, bro. Not even just like Jersey slide shit. I'm saying in general, we'll be going 80 miles an hour on a fucking highway, and somebody's actually 6 feet behind me. if we're going down a rural road and the speed limit's 25 miles an hour, that's fine. But if I'm going 80 and you're 6 feet behind me and I tap my brakes, you're almost hitting me. Like, the fuck, dude. And I'll slam. The other day, I'm driving on the highway. I slam on my brakes because somebody else slams on their brakes. The car behind me slams and pulls off the road so they don't hit me. Like, they pull into the grass. They don't crash, but then they get back on the road. I'm like, dude, just stop tailing me. We're both getting to the same place at the same fucking time.
For flashing your lights or what?
She said I was honking my horn at her because I was trying to get her to stop. I was not following too closely.
Okay.
Can you guys prove it? What is the law when it follows too closely? What does the mirror say when you read them? What does that say? If you guys are so smart. Objects in mirror appear closer than they are.
It has nothing to do with what says on the mirror.
Yeah, it does. It is a lawful statement.
Objects in the mirror appear closer than they are isn't true. What? Objects in the mirror may be closer. He's reading it wrong! He's reading it wrong! No! Chat, he's reading it wrong. I'm not getting over this.
Closer than
Objects in mirror appear closer than they are. That is the opposite of what it says. Around like Grim Reapers. Like they should have an aura that surrounds them. And like a song that plays on like an organ. When they walk through. Be like, yep, that's the guy that bleeds out the dead bodies.
From Harvey 180. So I'm completing my organ donation form. You can literally donate everything, including skin, bones, and tendons. So how do funerals work? Because there will be nothing to put in the box. Most organ
Put googly eyes on my lids.
companies, those procurers, they don't take everything. They'll take the femur, they'll take some
They're not taking my lungs.
of the muscle. They might even skin the whole thing so it looks like one big nasty roast beef. But then they also will
What?
everything. They'll take the femur, they'll take some of the muscle. They might even skin the whole thing so it looks like one big nasty roast beef. But then they also will provide us with a large wooden dowel that's the exact shape of the femur. So we can kind of rebuild the shape of the leg. From Amy Bell. How do you talk
They'll skin my entire body?
to hear from parents who have tackled this tough topic? Probably my best piece of advice for parents.
His stomach, bro. Oh my God. On God, I'm hearing his stomach.
Love to hear from parents who have tackled this tough topic. Probably my best piece of advice for parents when they talk to kids about death is don't say, it's like grandpa fell asleep. I think little kids can conflate the two. I would say be honest with children about death. Tell them the reality that someone is no.
Yeah, dude, when the family dog dies, he just ran away. He's going somewhere else to play with other dogs. Your grandpa shot him in the head.
No longer living. Kids typically, I think, have a better handle on death. And really, especially elementary school age children, I think they have a want to be involved when they come to a funeral. There's so many times where I see families come and they
ain't get that shit, though. They don't understand that shit. That's why it's like, because they're not actually mourning, bro, because they don't understand it. If you're like 6 and somebody dies, did you ever go to a funeral when you were like 7 years old? Bro, none of that shit makes sense. None of that shit makes sense. I remember I went to a funeral when I was probably 7 years old. I was going to say 6 or 7, but probably 6 or 7. And it was like my great aunt. And I was just like, I want to go home. I remember that. Obviously, I wasn't that close to them, but I remember not understanding the gravity of it and being like, this is boring.
kind of shuffle the kids off somewhere else and say that death is for adults. But really, death affects every single one of us. Here's a question from Curl Girl.
No, true. I just think it's like, I think kids don't understand it as much. Like, I mean, at what age are you able to understand death in a real way? Like a 6-year-old's not understanding death like that. Like, maybe they understand the concept of somebody being dead and not coming back. But I think, like, yeah, maybe when I was like, there was a funeral I had to go to when I was like 10 or 11. Like, I think like when I was like 11, I would probably get the idea fully of like, oh, this is very sad. Like, The mourning process.
62. What is a green burial? So there are a lot of things on the green spectrum that we can do with funerals. It could be something like we bury the body without a casket and without a vault, straight in the ground. It could cover something like having what we call recimation or decomposition instead of cremation. It could be something like using...
We figured it out, Chad. It's the chair. It's not him. When he leans back, it grumbles. He's on a bad Staples chair.
A wooden casket instead of metal, or even using what they call eco-embalming fluids. So embalming fluids made out of methyl alcohols instead of carcinogens like formaldehyde. All right, here's a really good question from Caterade. It is too cold to go for a walk, so I went to the mausoleum, as one does. Why anyone would want to spend eternity in a safe deposit box is beyond me. One distinction to make, mausoleum generally refers to a large...
Why is your ass giving a fuck? Why would anybody want to spend eternity here? They're not there. It's where they want their dead body to be.
Large building that houses full caskets above the ground. Another thing that looks similar to a mausoleum is what we might call a columbarium. These are typically standalone structures above the ground that have shelves, or what we call niches, to place urns. So mausoleums are for caskets, and columbaria are for urns. Oftentimes when I talk to families that have entombments rather than burials in the ground, usually their primary concern is water. If you're along a body of water, like a lake or a river, maybe spending eternity in a wet cooler is worse than spending it in a safety deposit box. Next we have a question.
Bro, I never understand when they put like, it's like a tomb cover on your tomb, right? To prevent like worms and leakage and shit. And I'm like, why does that matter? Right? Like, you're going to be buried here forever, right? You're going to rot. The worms are going to eat you. And you're going to be a skeleton. Your tomb's going to break and crack. You've said this before. I know. But it's like, why does it matter if the worms eat you in a year or 10 years? You're dead.
Question from Brain Rot Batty. Had to break up a fight at the funeral home today. Why y'all swinging on each other? I have had to break up a couple fights at funerals or go into dad mode and scold some people. It's a highly emotional situation. Sometimes there are a lot of unresolved issues between the deceased and their family, or maybe other members of the family. Talk about inheritance.
Yeah, fake ass motherfuckers coming into the funeral just to fucking be there to show face because they just want money from the will, and rather than actually giving a shit about the person that died. I could see that. I could see full-on fist fights starting at a funeral so easily, just because it's like, dude, you know, people are gonna come out of the fucking works that you haven't heard of in years, man.
Those things can be a mess. Our next question is from Bob White. Are funeral expenses tax deductible? The short answer to that is no. Here's a question from S.J. Dorowski. Why are Irish wakes always so loud and poppin'? It's actually one of those things that led me into funeral service in a way. I'm from an Irish family and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the type of funeral, right? Like, some people perceive, it's like some cultures, some people perceive death as something to be like sad and mourning of, and some perceive it as like a celebration of life.
But when my grandma Sweeney died, my cousins smuggled in a whole bunch of coolers of booze into the funeral home, and all the older ones proceeded to get absolutely wild. But seeing people have fun at a funeral and kind of embrace life at a funeral was one of those things where I saw it as a young man and realized that a funeral doesn't have to be entirely dour.
I think that you want a mixture, right? I think the proceedings at a funeral itself, where people are older. Oh, it was fighting something from walrus tusks. This thing fought a fucking walrus and lived. I mean, it is a polar bear. Meh. Next video. Video dating, women's edition. Wasn't video dating like the in-between between like you only being able to meet people in person and like dating apps? Like video and dating profiles, it was like MySpace era. Like video dating was a real thing where you would make a video, put it out, and then you got responses. And then maybe you would meet up with that person.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
Oh, she is old.
And
nothing wrong with that. I just didn't think a woman in the 80s that is 80 would be using a video dating site.
I live in the West San Fernando Valley, Pardon me. Hi, I'm Jana. I'm looking...
Just holding a piece of chocolate cake. That is the largest piece of cake I think I've ever seen. Would you guys eat that much cake in one sitting? I would like to. I don't think I could. That's not like a regular... I think a third of that is a restaurant slice.
Hello, my name is Ellen. Some people call me sexy. Others say I'm sensuous.
Hi, I'm Linda. Well, you know, when I'm not using my doctor and pharmacy to troubleshoot a large healthcare computer system, I'm over at the gym pumping iron or driving my black Porsche with the wind blowing through my hair and singing along with Anita Baker's rap.
This feels like you're getting baited into getting a car where they're gonna fucking chloroform you, and then you're gonna wake up with one kidney in a bathtub in a motel. What is this woman saying? This seems so unreal.
You know, when I'm not using my doctor and pharmacy to troubleshoot a large healthcare computer system, I'm over at the gym pumping iron or driving my black Porsche with the wind blowing through my hair and singing along with Anita Baker's Rapture of Love.
I guess you could say I'm an Oreo cookie freak. I have an Oreo cookie jar, Oreo salt and pepper shakers. I like to collect anything with an Oreo on it. And I love to eat double stuffed ones. They're the best.
Bette Midler. I laugh hysterically at Bette Midler.
These are the worst fucking videos. What are they telling them to say on this fucking video? They go to this place to film a video so they could find dating matches, but are they like, tell me about yourself?
I have 2 cats.
Okay.
And I don't know how to ride a horse. And my
All right.
goal in life is to have my own religion. I was a fly.
What, like Charles Manson? What do you want to fucking start a cult? What do you mean you want your own religion? That took a dark turn pretty quickly.
Stop at canoeing. I'm looking for a romanticist. Spend time at the fireplace.
Someone that's clean. Be clean, you know? I keep my car very clean, and I expect a man to do the same. And I also like very meaty men.
One who is charming, personable, doesn't smoke in my face.
I am looking for a passionate yet permanent romance.
Why does she have yellow gloves on? Stop.
Face.
I am looking for a passionate yet permanent romance within the guidelines of safe dating practices.
What the fuck does that mean? What? Dude, that woman's scary. What the? Who was seeing that and going, yeah, I need to go on a date with her?
Go now, but keep in touch, okay? Bye. That's it.
Oh my god, this really is like just, is this actually just pulled from video dating? Home SF Valley code? What is that? Code. RO 112F, religion Jewish, high school education, 27.54, 120 pounds. I feel like the guys' ones are going to be so much worse.
Oh, hello. Hello. Hello.
Thought I told you never to call me here.
Some of the things
Why are they being so weird on camera? Just fucking talk.
I love are photography, travel, skiing, and cuddling. This is a very exciting
That's a hobby of yours, is cuddling?
time for my life because I'm just starting a new claims adjusting business.
I don't know, the type of girl that I'm looking
What?
This is a very exciting time for my life because I'm just starting a new claims adjusting business.
Oh, wow, how cool. That's so interesting. A claims adjustment business?
I don't know, the type of girl that I'm looking for is one that's really attractive to me.
I like an attractive woman.
Yeah, I'm just looking for like a hot girl, you know, nothing too crazy.
Someone who might look like Christy Brinkley or Jacqueline Smith.
I have a very strong sense of humor. I've read recently that everyone thinks they've got one, but my friends do agree that I do. Might not appear.
Lame-ass comment. Lame-ass comment. Worst one of the day. Worst one of the day, bro. Yeah, everybody says I'm pretty funny.
Might not appear it, but semi-crazy.
Kind of your typical research mathematician, I guess.
Walking down the street or just going out for let me take pictures of her with my camera. He's somebody that maybe even gets rough once in a while, you know, and
I mean, yo, you're on the wrong. Yo, this guy needs to, bro. He's not even like pitching dating, bro. He's just trying like this man is like the launching point for Tinder.
Extremely high verbal skills.
Co-ed bubble bath sounds like a real fun idea I want to try out.
And whoever's ever with me has to like to do it too, or they're going to go nuts, because I'll drive you nuts.
I seek a person who is childlike.
somebody that'll embarrass you
by
ordering too much food, or, you know, somebody like that.
I'm a nice fellow. I don't know.
I'm particularly attracted to black women and women of different races. So if you like me, give me a call.
Hey, yo, you know, he's shooting straight. He's going, hey, you know, I'm in for the game right now. Let's get it going. This guy, you know, he's pitching, he's shooting it straight. He's shooting it straight. Yeah, hit me up.
Basically, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
We didn't even hear what that guy's looking for. Wearing overalls, Glenn, South Bay, bachelors of science, no religion, 6'1", 139, 180 pounds, looking for somebody 25 to 35. Maximum distance, 40 miles. Interest, skiing, jogging, travel, and film. No children. This seems like a jazzercise like song. Oh my God, I want to see more of this. Found footage fest. Oh, this is like all just like old videos. Dude, I gotta sub to this channel. Championships of VHS. These, what do they just find like random shit? All right, we'll watch one more. One more. New Age miracles, fact or fraud. Welcome back. Tonight we're going to be investigating a few people that have claiming that they've witnessed or experienced miracles. A lot more stern than I thought he'd be.
I've enlisted our friend Charles' able assistance in this portion of our presentation for reasons which will soon become obvious. Charles?
Yo, what the fuck is this? They're gonna hit him with a sledgehammer? Oh, is he doing miracles? Is he like a miracle man? Do it! It's gonna be a fake cinder block. Didn't hurt at all.
Now place it inside the plastic bag.
Oh, it's a little magic trick here.
Now break the bulb. Excellent. Now reach inside and choose a piece and hand it to me.
Is he gonna eat it?
Thank you. You may return to your seat.
He's gonna eat it. Yup. It's sugar glass. I feel like that's so obvious. That's also not a miracle. This is also not a miracle. This is not a miracle. Yo, hey, if that even if that wasn't sugar glass, I'd be like, okay, you ate a piece of a light bulb glass. Yo, like, you know, all right, enough chews, probably not gonna kill you, but it's bad. Dude, I feel like I'm watching interdimensional cable.
Fire, one of the most powerful and destructive forces of nature.
Rolled up the jeans.
Oh, that's impressive, as you said earlier.
If I can direct your attention to the demonstration area, I'll give you a first-hand look
Are these real shows? Like, I don't even know what I'm watching right now. What is this from? What is this from? This is a fucking, like, this video is intended for educational purposes about New Age ploys to lure them into satanic cults. What? He walks us through highly entertaining worlds of New Age parlor tricks. Oh, so he's openly saying they're fake. Who the fuck's getting lured into a cult by watching somebody eat a piece of a light bulb and being like, you're telling me you're God? Prove it. Eat a piece of this light bulb. Dude, we watched a video about this where they pull out like fake blood and then it makes them believe that they've been healed. Yeah. And they think that they've been healed. That actually is a cult tactic. Psychic surgery actually has gotten people killed.
The next time you or someone you know is approached by a member of a New Age group, remember what you have seen here today.
I loved that. Loved that. We gotta watch more of those videos another day. That was fun. All right. Count me down 30 seconds. Quiz. Would you survive the night? We did the zombie survival quiz a few months ago. Crystal makes some pretty fucking fire survival quizzes where, you know, it's in depth. There's like 20 questions and there's right and wrong answers. Some are kind of right, some are really wrong. I mean, it says horror quiz. The one we did with the zombies, like some of the questions I thought I was right and then she said I was wrong. But horror quiz, I think if I had to survive the night in like a haunted house, I'm for sure fine. But I don't know what they mean horror quiz. Like, am I running from a serial killer? Am I like, you know, in some sort of fucking Stranger Things situation?
This is a survival quiz. You're alone in a foreign place. The locals whisper.
Would never be in that situation. Already. The locals whisper about something in the hills. All right, well.
About something in the hills. Something old. They say it drinks blood. You don't believe them. Not exactly.
I'm definitely not believing them, bro. What? If I'm in a foreign country and the locals start chirping to me about how, like, in the hills, there's some fucking Dracula, like, level creature, I'm going, okay, pal.
But tonight something's wrong. This is a logic test. A psychological test. The questions start off easy, but they get harder. And each answer could be your last. For each question, you get 4 options to pick from. And after each question, I'll tell you the right answer. And I'll also tell you why the others would have been the last thing you ever did. Keep track of your score. And in the end...
So if I get one wrong, I die? What? If I get one wrong, I die.
And I'll tell you if you would have survived the night. So without further ado, let's begin. You're in a tiny town somewhere in the Balkans. You booked it on impulse. The town is barely marked on maps. The local currency is something you've never held. And the bartender in this pub doesn't speak much English, but he keeps refilling your glass. It's late. The pub smells like wood smoke and dried herbs. There's a fire burning.
I'm loving the vibe thus far. Nobody speaks the language that I speak. I'm alone at the pub, and the bartender just makes like a bro eye contact with me and just fills my drink every time. So I'm a little drunk. Okay, 4 or 5, maybe 6 beer in. I'm in Europe, right? Or the Balkans. Balkans, what country is the Balkans in? If I'm in the Balkans, I'm in like Albania. All right. I'm in like Albania, Romania, Serbia. I don't speak the language of the locals, and I'm kind of drunk. They're probably drinking like 6% beer, you know.
They're still at the back table. They keep glancing at you. One of them finally leans over and says something that sounds like, "You shouldn't walk back alone. Not tonight."
I'm not thinking that's supernatural. I'm thinking that motherfucker's letting me know that I'm about to get mugged on my walk back, okay? If I am drunk at a bar alone in Romania or Albania or Turkey or wherever the fuck I am, and a local leans in and goes, "You shouldn't walk home tonight alone. It's not safe." I'd go, oh, so I'm going to get murdered by a human. Like a person's going to hurt me.
You ask him what he means. He gestures to the window. and says one word in broken English. Nosferatu.
Vampires? Brother, I'm going, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And then I'm walking home.
The table behind him laughs. How do you respond? Option A, laugh with them. Maybe it's a local joke. Option B, ask if something happened recently. Option C, say, I don't believe in that stuff. Or option D, say nothing and finish your drink.
Damn, dude. This is a life or death scenario here. If I get it wrong, what do they just shoot me? I fucking ask if something happened recently. Oh, you're an idiot. They kill me. B, I'm not asking if something happened recently. I would probably say, what do you mean? C, I don't believe in that stuff. Now I'm going D. Saying nothing.
So the correct answer here is option B, ask if something happened recently. So the reason this is the right answer is because here you're not dismissing him. You're gathering information without feeding the myth or challenging it. And survival often starts with listening, especially when you're the foreigner without any cultural context here. Option A, laughing with the crowd, is not the best answer here because it alienates the speaker. They might shut down or play it off and you've lost a source. Option C, saying you don't believe in that stuff, draws a firm line in the sand and you've now made it personal. If they were
I'm drawing that firm line in the fucking sand. Yo, okay, if I'm in a foreign country, I'd probably pan into it a little bit. I'd be like, what do you mean Nosferatu?
trying to warn you, they'll back off. And option D, going silent and...
Bro, that's like me being at a local bar in New Jersey and somebody being like, the Jersey Devil's out tonight. You shouldn't walk home alone. I'd be like, you're crazy. You're an insane person.
Information withheld now might cost you later. The man narrows his eyes. He speaks carefully, like he's trying to remember the right words. They come if you are soft. If you say yes too easy. If you listen and you should close your ears. You ask, how do you stop them? He looks at the candle and at the table, and then back at you. You don't, but you can delay. He lifts his hand and he pinches the flame out between two fingers.
Damn, this guy's kind of hard, though. This guy's kind of got aura. I feel like now I have to listen to him. He pinches the flame with both of his fingers. And he glances. He's kind of like rizzing me up while he's like warning me.
They ask you small things first. Just small. Can I come closer? Do you hear me? Will you look at me? It's not always the door.
Oh, so I'm dealing with vampires that I have to let them in.
And he leans closer. You don't say yes. You don't say no. You don't say anything at all. Someone behind him scoffs. It's one of the older men at the back table. Ignore him. This one still believes the old wives' tales. The bartender doesn't look back. He's staring at you. They came...
What up? Bang.
Last week. A girl was found. She was still standing when they found her. Still warm. No blood inside. Like something had hollowed her out and walked away. As you stand to leave, the bartender slides something across the bar. A small metal charm on a string. It looks handmade. Rusted. Ancient. He doesn't look at you when he speaks. Protection. What do you do?
Taking that bitch! Taking that bitch! What? He gives me a metal charm on a string and he goes, protection. I'm going, okay. And I'm wearing that.
Option A, put it on immediately.
Yup.
Option B, refuse politely. You don't believe in that stuff. Option C, take it, then ask what it's made of and what it does.
Oh, C.
Or option D, leave it on the counter and walk out without acknowledging it.
C.
So the correct answer here is option C. Take it, and then ask
Yes!
what it's made of and what it does. So the reason this is the right answer is because here you're signaling respect and you're gathering information. You're neither dismissing nor blindly accepting it, and that maximizes safety and intel. Option A, blindly putting it on, is the wrong answer because you have no idea what this is, and if wearing it marks you, binds you, or even attracts the thing that you're trying to repel here. Option B, dismissing the offer out loud, is also the wrong answer because this signals ignorance and arrogance in a dangerous and unfamiliar environment. And option D, walking out without acknowledging it, is the worst of both option A and option B. You've both ignored local protection and you've potentially insulted someone who might be your only ally. You pick up the charm. It's heavier than you expected. You don't put it on.
It's made of tungsten. You pick up the charm. The string snaps. You've just got yourself in a New York City free charm scam. This guy's asking for a tip for the free jewelry he just gave you. You decline. He says, well, you broke my charm. Now you have to pay me for it.
Instead, you ask, what's it made of? The bartender pauses. He leans forward slightly, and his voice lowers.
Cow urine. Cow urine. Horse shit.
Iron from a grave fence.
Oh, iron from a grave fence.
And then he taps the string. Thread from a shroud. He looks at you for a long time.
And a little bit of puffer semen.
You don't wear it to look strong. You wear it to be overlooked. Don't let them hear you say their name. And never, never speak to them first. The candle in the bar flicks sideways, like someone walked past. But no one did. Outside, the night is colder than it should be. You check your phone. No signal.
No, not big puffer. Like a puffer fish. I don't know, maybe I'm done.
The road home is darker than you remember. One street lamp flickers ahead. Time to walk. The real quiz has officially begun. You step out into the cold. The charm is warm in your pocket. The night smells like whetstone. You've been walking for nearly 15 minutes now, uphill, away from the bar. No shops.
Well, here's where you're wrong, because I'm catching an Uber ride.
Open. No cars. No sound except for your own footsteps. Up ahead, beneath a flickering street lamp, you see a figure. They're standing still. Head tilted down. Half in shadow.
I cross the street. I jaywalk across the street, and I avoid contact with him. This is not even, regardless of whether or not Nosferatu's a thing. If I'm walking alone at night, and I see a guy standing under a street lamp at like 1 in the morning, I'm crossing the street. I'm not passing him.
Not approaching. Not retreating. Just waiting. What do? Option A. Keep walking toward them, confidently, like you belong here. Option B. Cross the street and pass at a distance without making eye contact. Option C. Turn off into a narrow side path to avoid them completely. Or Option D. Call out. Are you okay?
B. I'm not going down a side path. That's really scary. I think B. Cross the street. Still keep them in your peripherals.
So the correct answer here is Option B. Cross the street and pass it.
Fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes.
The distance without making eye contact.
Option E. Run it him manically and zombie survival quiz. Most people choose wrong.
It's a quiz to find out if you'd survive a zombie apocalypse. Not movie logic.
Y'all think you would survive? I think I'd at least I would last past the first stages. I'm not saying I would start a new civilization and, like, you know, become governor of my own little town. But I don't think it would be like I'm not going out day one of the outbreak, you know? It depends what type of zombies we're working with. I don't know if she's going to address this, but that's kind of another big thing. I think when people talk about zombie apocalypses, it's generally assumed that you're referring to Walking Dead. Is that fair? Because World War Z... World War Z? Those ones... And they run. they run faster than they would if they were alive. Like, that... No. Those I'm dead. Those I'm for sure dead. But I think I would live Walking Dead.
Not gamer instincts, actual survival decision making pulled from disaster studies, urban collapse scenarios, and real world psychology. It's 28 questions long. Some of the questions are easy, most of them are not. For each of the questions, you get 4 options to pick from, and I'll tell you the right answer and explain why the others most likely will get you killed. As we go through the quiz, you should keep track of your score. You get 1 point per correct answer. And at the end, I'll tell you...
Oh, God. Is it like, hey, if you have 10 points, you live? How many points do you need to survive? It's probably unreal, like 20. You need to get, like, more than 2/3 of the questions correct.
Whether or not you'll last. So before we begin, I'm going to give you some context as to this world and also the scenario so that you can make informed choices. So this quiz, right, this scenario, it uses classic slow-moving zombies. So like classic infection type zombies.
There we go. Easy. 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 What? I think that's not easy. The biggest problem's other people in an apocalypse. That, in my mind. World War Z, it's the zombies. But Walking Dead zombies, it's like other people that are malicious and want to kill you. I don't think the zombies are the biggest issue. They're just kind of like a hurdle in the midst of other shit.
Moderate hearing and smell. They have poor eyesight, especially.
Moderate hearing and smell. Poor eyesight, especially in low light. They will notice you if you're loud, fast, or bleeding. What are they, fucking sharks? They'll smell my blood. They'll notice you if you're loud, fast, or bleeding. So they'll be like clickers, but slow. Like, ah! They turn. More merch is here. You better not skip this, you fucking bitch. More merch. Carpe diem. Look at this sick-ass design. You better fucking look at it, dick. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Pluck the day. Same fucking thing. Follows the philosophy drops that we've always been doing. We were doing Memento Mori. We were doing Think for Yourself. Look at this sick-ass back. Peep it. Also got shorts. This time, they're shorter than the other ones. Different material. We're not going that thick cotton anymore. It's more breathable. We also got hoodies in other designs. Look at this fucking sick-ass one. No AI! Told the designer, no AI! They hand drew this shit. Or, well, not with, like, pencil on a computer. Anyways, where's the fucking long sleeve? Another design. Here's the front. Here's the back. Check it out. There's more stuff as well. I'm just showing you small things. JoeBartoloziStore.com. I don't know why I'm out of breath. Editor. I'm sick. Joe Bartolozzi Store. I said my last name wrong. JoeBartoloziStore.com. Check it the fuck out. See ya.
Notice if you're loud, if you're fast, or if you're bleeding. In terms of how to defeat them, the zombies don't feel pain. They don't bleed out. The only tried and tested way to destroy them is by destroying the brain. And they don't stop unless you hit a central nervous system, so when you're picking weapons, that's what you're aiming for. In terms of how the virus spreads, or how people turn, the virus spreads fast. People say it's from bites, maybe blood. It's not airborne as far as we know, but if someone gets it, they turn fast. To give you some context of
So it's not like mushroom spores, but if they bite you, you turn.
Live in an urban area with 2 other people, so it's like
You live in an above ground floor apartment with 2 other people in a densely populated urban area. So like I live in a big city like New York or Boston. I live in like New York, Boston, Chicago, Miami.
medium-sized city, pretty densely populated area with like the
Worst start. Bottom tier starting area for an apocalypse. That's making me a little less confident. Best place to start out is just like Iowa. You're in Canada, but not in a main city. Oh, so I'm fine. Oh, I only have ever met 10 people in my life. So I think I'll be okay.
Infrastructure of what you get in an urban area, so public transport, accessible supermarkets, roads, etc. I hope you took some notes or you remembered those facts.
Iceland would be the best area to start if the virus didn't start in Iceland, because then you could just close off the country.
Because they may or may not be relevant in deciding what you'll do. So again, I'll set out each question in turn and then the options, and I'll give you a couple of seconds to pick your answer. I'll tell you the right answer after each question and give you an explanation as to why that's the right answer.
Bro, but is it gonna be like the definitive right answer, or is it just gonna be like, hey, this is the one that's most likely to keep you alive?
Feel free, obviously, to pause the video to take more time if you need it, and most importantly, keep track of how many answers you get right or wrong for your final score at the end. And without further ado, let's begin. So you've just confirmed it, it's a zombie outbreak. You live in the 2nd floor apartment in a medium-sized city, and it's the first 10 minutes.
What's a medium-sized city? Not New York, not Philly. Like, a medium-sized city, I would say like Austin, Texas. Is that? Yeah, like St. Louis, Missouri. Somewhere where there's not millions of people.
Immediately by car and head towards the countryside.
Hell no.
Option B, grab a backpack and head on foot to the nearest supermarket. Option C, wait a bit, gather information, and then leave before nightfall. Or option D, stay put and begin fortifying your home.
I think A's bad because there's gonna be traffic immediately. Like, everybody's going to try and leave. That's the biggest play. If you're one of the first people, like 10 minutes, it's already cooked. I don't think you're getting out of the city. Grab a backpack, head on foot to the nearest supermarket. There's going to be panic on the ground level, so I feel like that's also bad. Stay put and begin fortifying your home. I think living in the city during an apocalypse is the worst play. Dude, I know A is bad because it's like you shouldn't want to leave by car, but I feel like A or C. Wait a while, gather info, and leave before nightfall. We don't know anything, so I feel like it would make sense to kind of wait. Not B. Well, grabbing a backpack, heading on foot to the nearest supermarket. There's going to be mass foot traffic on the city that you're in of people running around because they're scared and also infected on the streets. That's like immediately where people are going to be that are zombies. So, and people are already going to be looting supermarkets. I feel like that's not a problem right now. I'm thinking C, bro. C or A? I'm going to go C first answer, though.
So the correct answer is option D, stay...
Fortify my fucking second floor apartment in fucking Austin, Texas? I'm going to why the fuck would I fortify my apartment? Like somebody's going to try... Bro, nobody's going to try and break... The zombies don't have strength.
Put and begin fortifying your home. So the reason that this is the right answer is because leaving in the first wave is often one of the riskiest...
I think... Okay, I agree with that. That's why A's trash.
...things that you can do. During the first wave of an outbreak, infrastructure breaks down basically instantly. The roads are full of accidents and abandoned cars, emergency services are overwhelmed or completely gone, and if you're in a vehicle, you're likely gonna get stuck. And if you're on foot, you're probably gonna be exposed.
You know what I'm gonna do, bitch? I'm gonna take a Lime scooter out of that fuck-ass town. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go download an app, and I'm gonna go fucking take a city bike, and I'm gonna fucking electric scooter my way out of the fucking town. There we go. Then I don't even need to get in a goddamn car.
Another reason to stay put is because you have more...
The services are down? Yeah, I'm taking a Lime scooter.
...control at home. You know your layout, your entry points, and what you have at...
No Wi-Fi? What did the fucking satellites just fall out of the sky? There's gonna be Wi-Fi for a little bit.
You're able to block doors, ration supplies, and also reduce noise. All in all...
Bro, ration supplies? What, the fucking 6 packs of ramen I got? Damn, dude. Ration supplies. Like I'm a fucking couponer and I just have fucking layers of canned corn. I'm just waiting to starve to death, bro. I'm going to last 5 days. How to starve. No, I mean, my plan wasn't... I feel like C's good. Because it wasn't fortify, but it was like, all right, I'm going to survey a little bit. Maybe I'll put a chair in front of the door. And then I'm going to fucking leave in like 8 hours.
All in all, staying put has fewer variables and more you can control, and there's also just less visibility to the outside world and its threats. Public spaces during this time are basically chaos zones because supermarkets and gas stations are early hotspots for violence, looting, infection spread. The majority of...
Yeah, bro, but what if you're one of the first people there?
People that die early in disaster events do so because they go out thinking that they can grab more supplies. Another reason to stay is because waiting often gives...
Grab all the fucking Marlboro Reds! Grab all the cigarettes!
...you more information. In the next 12 to 48 hours, you'll learn what's happening, where to go or avoid, and whether there's an organized response. And so people who leave immediately often walk into blind danger. The only exceptions where leaving might be the right choice is if your building is actually compromised, like if there's an infected person inside and there's no way to secure it, or if you have a clear escape plan with pre-packaged supplies and like a safe destination, or if you live...
What is that called? Like a go bag? There's like apocalypse people that have those. Like an already ready backpack to dip.
Somewhere that's completely indefensible. So for example, there's a glass storefront, or you're on the ground floor, or there's wide entry points. But
a bug out bag, that's what it is.
Other than that, the safest thing to do is to stay and fortify and wait. So you've decided to stay put and ride out the first wave in your apartment. You've locked the doors, you've pulled the curtains, and you've confirmed it's a real outbreak. What's the smartest next move? Option A, start moving heavy furniture to block entry points. Option B, fill bathtubs, sinks, and pots with clean water.
I love that. I don't know the other two answers, but right now I'm going B.
Option C, inventory your kitchen.
I feel like that's what you do during like a hurricane. Y'all ever do that? You or your family ever do that whenever